Well, all right. Is it working? I think it's working. Mm, mm. I'm just listening to my own song right now. That's what happens. I'm not. I'm just grooving. Yeah. I'm grooving like I'm a da. Hold on one second. Opening one other thing that I think we might need, and we check it up. I'm still dancing. I'm still dancing to my own tune. It just happens, especially on days like this. Hello. Um, was it silence? Did you not hear it? Was I just dancing and we hear you, but not the music? Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Oh, I know I fixed it in the end, but I didn't fix it in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's I can hear it, but you couldn't hear it. I'll fix it. I think it's because it's still it's still left over from the wreckage of Johnny Million's audio loopage that was happening on the Saturday show. Oh, Mondays, where art thou? Hi. I promise there will be music on the outro, and I will just spend my time dancing to my own tune, and that's just how it works. I apologize. I wish the thing worked. Hold on. Hi, welcome to Seminar Music. I'm soulless. Think of this as a TED Talk where Ted's not here and nobody says anything worth hearing. Sorry, that's my corporate bullshit music that I play whenever Trump does an ad. Please hold. No one will be with you anytime soon. Thank you for calling Dead Inside. It's so, yeah. Hi. You've reached this recording because I'm not kidding. Okay. All right. Welcome to Sound Streams, where nothing matters and we're all dead inside. Hi, chat room. Welcome to the show. Reminding you, if I may, to remind everybody that the show exists. Let them know. Let the Midas Touch audience know that they should check out my shit. I'm just saying. There's lots of them. They're Midas mighty, and some of them just don't know. I'm not holding it against them. I just don't think they know I'm here. And God knows. Thank you, Lisa and Professor Funbags. Bless you. Hello. By the way, it was lovely meeting you at the Sexy Liberal show. I'm just saying, it's nice when you can put a person to a name, and I think the mismatch, comedy-wise, perfect. Just saying what you were trying to. Yeah. Anyways, it was a nice moment to share thing. Anyways, so lots to talk about today. Let's see. It's the social app Spill from X Twitter. That sounds like something like, this is the place for tea. Not the good tea, not unsweetened tea, just like dirty tea on people. Yeah, at some point somebody's going to put out a social media site called Laundry. All right, lots to get to today and lots to talk about too. We got to dive straight in if I do, but first I want to remind you, like, subscribe, share, shablam, shapare the show, shapare show. Hold on, I'm fixing something. Grab it, you silly thing. All right, and then I'll put you over here. So whoops, get out of here. What are you doing? I don't want to do that, you maniacs. People are gathering in here. Love you for that. Hold on, I'm gonna squeeze the, oops, put that in there. It's true. Grab the, All right, shrinkage. It's reasonable. Just put my chat up there somewhere. Yeah, like spec. Anyways, thank you so much. There's a lot to go on, not the least of which is let me jump. I'm gonna jump ahead to this stupidity. Where is it? I have to. I just realized I have to bring this noise up to. Yeah, here we go. You guys remember this dipshit, right? I think he used to be president. He came to my fifth of 5 hometowns just recently, and this is in case you're not familiar with the sight of him. This is him standing still while someone plays an entirely Greenwood song, because even though it has been his walk-on music for fucking years now, he still has no idea what the arrangement of the song is and keeps coming in too early. At some point, somebody, and this, I think this has to do with like muscle memory, because it certainly doesn't have anything to do with the best memory. I got the best memory in the world. I think I said that, but I don't remember. That he would basically go, okay, we start playing the song as soon as you walk off the plane. By the time you walk down Air Force One steps and across the tarmac and back through the thing and glad hand a couple of people, by the time you get on stage, bam, timing's perfect. We timed it out, boss. It's exactly 3 minutes and 22 seconds to walk to the podium there if you don't, grab some pee on the way. And so it'll be perfect. As soon as we play the song, that's when you exit, you wave at everybody, and then you start well, now he doesn't get off of Air Force One anymore. He barely gets off of Trump number 2.
I like fighting number 2.
And he came into this thing. He doesn't talk as much on this one either. So he was not as excited to be here. Although I think this was a paid event, like the Moms for Liberty thing. Like he's getting some of that post-presidency scratch. Yeah. And so we'll be fascinated to see how, it'll be a lot of the same, but we're going to grab a little bit of this, and then it'll dovetail us off into other stuff, because by no means is there something valuable in any of this. But if you'll notice, yeah, there's quite a lot of doubt. I love this land, God bless the sure, God bless,
I broke their ass.
There we go. We'll just play this in the background.
I like fighting number 2. Even outside, it's packed. We had a wet vaccine.
I felt really good almost after taking it. I had a beat off.
They said, oh.
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Free health care for illegal.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Even outside, it's packed. The past wasn't that long ago. I don't want anything that's good.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't read,
Wow,
obviously.
this is great.
I don't read, obviously.
Have you seen what's going on outside there?
Oh my God.
Even outside, it's packed.
Yes, that's the thing with the great outdoors. It's we're gonna make outdoors great again. Moga.
Even outside, it's packed.
Sure it is, dickhead.
There are thousands of people.
That's only a couple dozen in here. But outside, it's not true. And by the way, he's in Las Vegas. Outside is always fucking packed. Stupid.
Outside.
But thank God you're filming it so they can see it later. It's so exciting. They don't want to miss this. These rooms might be getting much smaller, but my crowds are staying the same size. I promise. Ask Stormy.
There are a lot of people out there, and
They're buddy.
this is really just a small gathering.
You don't say.
Even outside, it's packed.
Thousands of people outside.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people out there, and this is really just a small gathering. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I just can't. You gotta like the idea that it's starting to get to him. He's starting to. You can tell that's like the first thing that occurred to him when he entered the room, because that's what he does. He kind of either repeats what the last thing somebody said to him was, or he repeats the first thought he had, which is, "Oh fuck, there's barely anybody here."
And I'm here for you.
Not the other way around.
This is a gathering of just our volunteers. They go out and you knock on those doors, and
You're knocking on doors, and they knock back sometimes.
a poll just came out. We're leading here by 38 points. That's not bad. That's not bad. Nevada.
It's Nevada. We're leading in Nevada in the Republican primary by 10 points less than where I'm leading anywhere else. So Nevada Republicans are are choosing someone else by more than 60-40. And so we decided to have a small gathering with just the volunteers, people who would volunteer to listen to my shit, which is almost no one. So it's just a small crowd. It's a small crowd, but
Even outside, it's packed.
it's amazing that apparently anywhere that isn't here is full of people. And look at his face. Look at his big dumb face. It's not good. This is great. Everybody's here, and yet they're not here. Boga, boga, make outside great again. That's what we're doing.
And we've done well here, but we'll...
Not as well as the Democrats, and also not as well as apparently the rest of the Republican field. 38, it's great. We're doing good.
Leading, I've never seen such enthusiasm as we have.
The numbers might be small, but the enthusiasm is big. Enthusiasms.
This time around.
This time around, unlike last time, where the enthusiasm, there was not a lot of enthusiasm compared to that, but there were a lot more voters, so...
We did great in 16. We actually did much better in 2020. We got millions more votes. And we are, I've never seen anything like this.
No, I haven't seen anything like it. Not anything like this before. I've never seen people in Las Vegas at 103-degree heat, inside volunteering for air conditioning where they don't have to, we've got, I can only do this 45 minutes, just like Elvis shows. It's got to be done. Everybody's got to be back out on the floor.
The level of love and the
level of love.
I like fighting number 2.
The level of love.
I had to beat off.
level of
Oh, the blue flag is Nevada.
enthusiasm is something that I don't think I'm not sure that any political campaign has ever seen it.
No one's ever had a room full of volunteers before. Again, what?
I've never seen anything like it.
No.
You have to see outside. We have people here that outside it's packed, that have not done this professionally, and they don't see these. And they said, "I've never seen anything like this take place." And but this is really just for a special group of you.
I buy it. You know what? Fuck it. I buy it. I believe it. I think I'm convinced that there are more people not at this thing than are at this thing. I'm just going to say, what are the odds? A lot of people are in here, but way more people aren't. You got to understand. Like the first 5-6 minutes of this is like, ugh. What am I doing in this? This is small. This is so. Why do I have to go to Nevada?
And what you've done, and again, and I think one of the reasons the enthusiasm is so great this time, even beyond what it was last time, where it was. I don't think there was anything like that, but this.
Yeah, there was never anything. It keeps getting, the enthusiasm gets bigger as the crowds get smaller. It is amazing.
Outside, it's packed.
As more people leave, the last few people here, are we passing out the Kool-Aid yet? Remember, the last 100 people on the pineapple farm were the most dedicated.
Substantially more, because the people we have running this country right now are so bad.
So bad with the jobs. Well, not that part, but with the inflation coming down. No, not that part. The stock market. Well, that didn't happen. But the $200 a barrel for oil is which didn't. It's terrible. I was able, like, airplanes can't even. No, how did I get here? Shit.
So evil. They're so incompetent. And they are destroying our country.
Oh, they're destroying it. You don't even recognize it. You go outside, it doesn't even look like Vegas anymore. It looks like Portland. Rip Portland.
And you had something very special. Very, very special.
Yes, we had something, and you had to go and fuck it up, America.
Almost 4 years. Can you imagine when you think of it? Time flies because now we're talking about primaries coming up in 6.5 months, 7 months. We're talking about an election that's going to take place very quickly.
Next year, he means 6.5 months, 7 months, sometime in the spring of next year.
Even outside, it's packed.
Oh, shit.
And we're going to win that election in numbers. The likes.
The primary, you mean? Because you are making the Republican Party self-select other people out? Good luck.
Of which I think nobody has ever seen before. I see it.
Like nobody, like I don't normally say like nobody's ever seen before, but I'm going to start using that phrase because it's very popular.
The level of support that we've had, the level of
love,
absolute enthusiasm.
Oh, did he? He hasn't mentioned enthusiasm yet, has he? I'm glad he finally got around.
The enthusiasm. You people are loud. You're small, but you're loud.
Nobody has ever seen this, and I can go even for the fake news because some of the stories they're putting out are just have been incredible. I mean, actually incredible in terms of they're saying the crowds we're getting are bigger than we've ever had. We had
that. Well, that would qualify them as fake news then. Yeah, if they're saying that, then okay. So he's talking about RSBN then. He's not talking about CNN and all those.
We were in.
Really? You're really going to say
stories they're putting out are just have been incredible. I mean, actually incredible in terms of they're saying the crowds we're getting are bigger than we've ever had. We were in South Carolina the other day. We had almost 80,000 people
in the entire county,
and it was 100 degrees out, and nobody wanted to leave, including me. I didn't want to leave either. It was 100 degrees. It was in the afternoon, and it was.
We couldn't get a place at night. Those are too expensive. The price goes up in the night but it was really cheap, and I basically fleeced these fuckers for every dime they had. And we had 80,000 people packed into a hall that holds 3,000. Because they wanted to see me so much, they stood on each other, and then
Even outside, it's packed.
Outside, it was full of people.
An amazing scene, and to be honest, we had very fair coverage of that. And but this is a different kind of a thing because this is meant for the volunteers of the campaign.
This is him, like managing his own expectations. This is just internal dialogue turned outward.
For the state of Nevada. And I just want to thank you. We have a couple of people that I have to introduce, and I want to introduce your.
I have to, and I want to. I want to mostly, but I have to, kinda. This is so good.
State Party Chairman Michael McDonald has been my friend.
I keep forgetting I'm not in love anymore. Not that Michael McDonald, clearly. Hold him on, go. In all fairness, Michael McDonald is everywhere all at once.
For a long time. Where's Michael?
He's been everywhere. Where are you, Michael? I recognize you anywhere with the big beard. You look. I always thought you were Bob Seger. I get you mixed up, but you got a thicker beard than Bob Seger, and he smells like Aqua Velva, and you smell like Old Navy or something like that. I don't remember.
Michael has done a fantastic job.
No shit. I mean, just his work with Christopher Cross alone is worth the price of admission. Anybody can inspire one of the greatest Rick Moranis SCTV sketches is okay by me.
He's respected by everybody, and
he's as stunt vocalists go, I mean, honest to God, Sting tried it for a while, but it just was nowhere near, I want my MTV. Nope. Nowhere even near. Oh, honestly. This is too silly.
He's liked by some, okay? Not everybody.
Well, he's an acquired taste, I suppose.
Republican National Committee
member Lee Greenwood. Lee, where are you?
Man, Jim Dungraffenreid.
The panic And say his name again.
Okay? Not everybody. Republican National Committeeman Jim Dungraffenreid.
First of all, committee man, committee chairman, he's just a committee member, but he's a committee man. He's a committee done graft some weed onto himself. Done freed. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna make it through this. I'm not gonna. Committee man.
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes.
What? Committee magic man.
Where's Jim Dungraffenreid? You think that's an easy name? But
Oh, fuck you. They didn't even bother to try beforehand. He's mad he had to
It's the people I've gotta say their names. I'm not going to. I'm gonna say the letters in somewhere in the general order.
These aren't even like, we haven't even gotten to the foreign sounding names yet. And he's got to name them because it's volunteers. People all work for him for free. Fucking hell. Oh, wait, we got to see that again.
Republican National Committeeman
Commitman.
Jim Dungraffenreid. Where's Jim Dungraffenreid? You think that's an easy name? But as you get to know him, it becomes easier and easier.
Stop it. As you get to know him, his name gets easier to say. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh shit. Oh god. Oh man. His name gets easier to say the more you know him. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh god damn it. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh, he doesn't normally have this much trouble with names.
Christopher Columbus. Christopher. Huh?
Oh god. Oh, this is gonna be brutal. I just know it. Oh, I'm afraid to push play. I'm afraid. If he has to say a Chinese or Spanish name, I'm gonna keel over. I'm gonna jackknife. I'm just like slam shut like a trunk. Whew. It's just. Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. Here we go.
Thank you very much, Jim. Fantastic job, and we appreciate it. Republican National Committee woman, Sigal Chattah.
Two syllables. Can't fuck that up too much.
And she's a great litigator, and she's going to be litigating when they start to cheat, because they'll be cheating like dogs. There's never been anybody that cheats like these people. They're sick. They are sick, and you are ready, right? Sigal, you are ready. She's ready. We got the real deal. Because a lot of people say, sir, will you be able to stop the theft, the cheating, that these people do, the rigged election. And the answer is the number one question I get, number one question.
Right, because that's going to be whether they decide how they decide whether or not to bother voting.
And Segala, we have some people all over the country.
Peon Mashu. Good, you guys in your.
And last time I campaigned, but I assumed everything would be on the up and up. But
No, you didn't. He said they were going to cheat the entire time.
they're not on the up and up.
They're definitely not on the up and up. That's true. I honestly.
I've been involved in the two greatest scams in American history.
You go back and you see where you're leading, and until 10 o'clock in the evening, all of a sudden you see these big dumps.
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Sudden 3:02 in the morning. It's a disgrace what took place. We have
It's a disgusting. Tui, I spit on the thing.
broken borders, and
We have broken elections, and we have broken names like Gil, Ganderflag, and Sleven.
have rigged elections, and you can't have either of those two if you're going to have a country.
So we don't have a country. Okay, so what are you running to be president of at this point? I'm confused.
If you're going to have a great country, you can't have any of that.
No, you can't have any of that stuff I just mentioned.
We have a man who's been with us from the beginning, a very important man politically, Assemblyman Ken Gray. Ken, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's been with you from the beginning because his name is easy to pronounce. Keep him around. It's one syllable. All these fuckers. Chata.
Appreciate it. Clark County Chairman, somebody that is going to be a big factor in the success of what we're doing. Jesse Law. Jesse, thank you very much.
Jesse Law.
And all.
Have you ever thought about being one of my attorneys? You sound like one of my attorneys. I've got Jim Trusty. I've got, I don't know, Crimina Law and Order. I've got her. I've got Alina Hubba Hubba.
So we have many, many people, friends of ours from the media that have been really good to us, that really believe in us, and they've let it be known because they want to save the country. We have a lot of friends here, and also the Nevada Republican Central Committee. I want to thank you all for being here. Very, very special people, and they have their heart in this, and we have our heart. So we're winning by a lot. We have a big job to do. This has been a hard state. I really believe it's a Republican state.
Yeah, that's it isn't.
I believe.
You could tell by how packed it is outside.
Even outside, it's packed.
I believe, as you know, I endorsed your governor. Your governor won, so that's a big advantage as opposed to the previous governor. That was not much of an advantage, I can tell you that.
So you're saying Kemp wasn't an advantage, or?
But we are going to do things, I think, that, and this is really throughout the country, like nobody's ever seen before. You know.
Yes, like nobody's ever seen before. He should use that phrase more often. It's not at all boring and annoying.
No, they can be dishonest and they can lie, they can cheat, they can do whatever they want. The one thing they can't do is if we get massive numbers of votes, they can only go so far. So we have to slab it. We have to get.
Yeah, we got to slab it. I think that's the word. That, I was looking for a word that could describe it. I think slabbing it. I was going to say pelunket, but slab is so much better. We need to slather it. We need to bathe.
They want. The one thing they can't do is if we get massive numbers of votes, they can only go so far. So we have to slab it. We have.
What? What is slabbing it? We have to slab it. Do we? Slab. All right. Shit. This is going very well. I think he's at his best when the crowd is loud and small. slab it.
have to get massive numbers. They have to come out in numbers like they've
In giant slabs, I think. They've got to,
never seen before. You know, last time.
Yeah, you got to come out in numbers never seen before. You mean voters that don't exist?
I got the largest number of votes in the history of our country for a sitting president. There's been
because of mail-in voting, which you decry, but it's also why your opponent kicked your ass.
millions more than Obama, millions more than Obama's second term. You know, if you
Yeah, because all the things that Republicans did to kind of slow the vote, especially in mail-in vote and drop off votes in voting boxes and that kind of stuff, were taken away because of COVID. So that's the actual voting public of the American, you know, as long as you don't make them fucking jog uphill to vote, yeah, there's a lot more voters out there. Not enough for you, but
look, most presidents, a lot of presidents, but most presidents get less votes their second term because people get tired. They get bored, they get tired, or they didn't do a good job.
you were lucky enough to have a pandemic where even if you were bored and tired, you were at least bored and tired at home because you didn't have any work.
As an example, President Obama got far fewer votes his second term. If you take a
And yet he's more popular than you. That's weird. Is anybody going to do the math on that? Is it just me? Sorry, Mab, listen to me. Slab has hit me so hard. I don't know what. I got hit with a slab.
look at us, we got the largest increase of any president who's ever served. And they rigged the election. You know, they rigged the elections. Just one of those things.
It is. It's just one of those things of many.
But the good news is
The good news is they've shown that they're cheaters, and we know
shown how bad they are.
Yes, that's because before you were just saying that they were communist, murdering Marxists, violent thugs and whatever, and they've shown themselves to be worse than that. I don't know how you can, but okay.
And we can do things in terms of crime. We have to solve the crime problem. And
You what? Solve what? Solve the crime problem before the election because people are afraid to vote. Hey, Gramps, stay on topic.
you have it here. But some cities, when you look at New York, when you look at Chicago, when you look at San Francisco, what happened to San Francisco, Los Angeles.
Yeah. These people are really worried about San Francisco. No group of people cares for the people of San Francisco and the people of Nancy Pelosi's district like Republicans in Nevada.
So many cities, all Democrat run. When you look at what's happened, we have to get involved. We have to help because
We have to help. Yeah. You know what? I agree. Why don't you go door to door looking for ghost guns? Let me know how that works out.
crime in this country has gone through the roof.
Well, especially felony roof puncturing.
At a level that nobody's ever seen before.
A level that nobody's ever seen before. Oh, I think that phrase has legs. I think he's just finding his swing with that one.
At a level that nobody's ever seen. We're seeing a level that nobody's seen before at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this on this level that nobody's ever seen at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
Or they walk in to stores now, they just put whatever they want in their cart and they just walk out.
Well, they roll the cart, but sure,
Everyone's afraid to do. You saw that clip yesterday where they're taking pictures of the people that are stealing them blind, robbing them blind. And the person taking the pictures got fired. Did you believe it? We should hire him. We should find out who he is.
Yeah, do that.
Anyway,
I'm kidding. I don't know who that was.
It's such a sad thing.
It is so sad.
But under our leadership, just a short while ago, real median household income in Nevada, think of this, it rose by $10,992. Nobody has ever had a number like that. Now you're losing that. You're losing it in big ways, but primarily because of inflation. Because you're getting a salary, and your salary is getting worthless. It's getting just worse. It's going down at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
A level that nobody... Honest to God, it's becoming a tick now.
At a level that nobody's ever seen before. He's saying at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
At a level that nobody's seen before.
We've never seen levels like this where it's
We've never seen levels like this. Oh, shit.
going down.
Where it's going down at levels like nobody's ever seen before. Nobody.
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Uh-huh.
So you think you're employed and you think you're getting the same salary, but
You're not. You're not employed. You got fired and you didn't know it. Quiet firing, they call it. You've been showing up for work and you've been getting a paycheck, but
salary's worth a lot less because of what they've done. And we're going to be drilling and we're going to be reducing energy costs.
we're going to reduce it from that $200 a barrel, like I said, $200 a barrel oil. That's happening right now.
You don't think it's happening. They tell you it's not happening. You might think gas costs are going down, but that's because your wages are going up. So you think cost has gone down, but it's actually going up.
And then we're going to be selling our energy to Europe and other places, and we're going to be reducing our debt and reducing taxes. You know, you got the largest tax decrease or largest tax cut in the history of our country, larger than the Reagan cuts, largest ever.
Yeah, the one for people was temporary. The one for businesses was permanent. But also, Mitch McConnell had that in a draft document before you even got elected.
We're going to be reducing taxes still further, and we're going to be paying off debt. We were all set to start, and then we got hit with COVID, and we had to solve that problem, and we did. We did a phenomenal job. Never got the credit for that we deserved. We did a phenomenal job. Nobody knew what the hell it was. We knew it came out from China. Although China tried to blame Italy, Spain, France, they were trying to blame everybody. But ultimately, I said
I don't remember them blaming Spain and France. I think he's just prattling off European countries.
It came from the Wuhan labs. And I said,
the lab. It came from the lab.
In his sock drawer.
Oh, the Wuhan lab. Oh, the lab, is it? Oh, well, pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing on the grand piano outside the lab.
That right at the beginning. See, there's a hat over there. I love the person who says Trump was right about everything. Actually,
if you think about it, I said at one point, I'm going to lose to Biden, and he's not even leaving his basement. I said it to a staff member, and it happened.
you're pretty close.
You're pretty close. I was right that Mike Lindell is a genius. The guy knows numbers like nobody's richer than him right now. I said he was a genius and he could. I would like make him Secretary of the Interior of Bedrooms, Secretary of Interior Decorating, and I was right about that.
Pretty close, but it came right out of Wuhan. But think of that, $10,992. That's what you did, and yearly, and nobody has ever done. That's never been done in our country before. Now you're losing like amounts because of what they've done with inflation. So we're going to get
what they've done with inflation.
Energy. We're going to pay off debt. We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to then lower interest rates because interest rates are way too high. Anybody looking for a house, because you might as well stop. You can't get the money from the banks.
It's Nevada. You're talking to a bunch of people around Vegas. Yeah, there's houses are sold like 6 months out.
The interest rates are way
before they're even done being built. Like, that's the wrong message for Nevada.
Way too high, and yet they need to do it because they think they have to kill inflation. But you can kill inflation in other ways.
Oh boy, guys. You can kill inflation in other ways. Please tell us.
Also, you don't have to kill the people who are already being destroyed.
Well, yeah, you can't kill people who are already destroyed because what are you going to do? Dig them up and destroy them again? But what are those other things? Tell us.
By what's taken place, because we have a corrupt, incompetent leader in Biden. Everyone knows he's not.
Everybody knows it. He knows he's corrupt and incompetent. That's why inflation's coming down. That's why gas prices have come down. That's why America's still energy independent. It's why he left on my tariffs. Only a corrupt person would not leave on my tariffs and add to those. It's why he passed the CHIPS Act and why he's trying to destroy the Chinese economy just to get at my daughter's patents.
I wouldn't have said this 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't have said it. I was actually very kind to him. I was very kind.
Afraid of him is the phrase, I think.
To him, but now we can't be kind anymore because The gloves are off. The jar
It,
has been opened.
wait. The gloves are off. The jar has been opened. What was in the jar? Are you saying that Biden isn't ready for this jelly?
I've said it. I was actually very kind to him. I was very kind to him, but now we can't be kind anymore because the gloves are off.
They are.
The jar has been opened.
Right. The trap door has been closed. The thing on the drain that you pull up to make so when you want to fill the tub that sometimes gets jammed, the hair has been cleared from that and it's been pushed down. The plunger is in and out and in and in and out and in and out.
He's taken millions of dollars from other countries like China. He's totally
like China. There are no other countries like China. I'm just saying.
Compromised. He's taken millions and millions of dollars from other countries. And in history, there's never been a scandal like this, but the fake news doesn't want to report it.
That's right. They don't like, that's the thing about the news. They hate historic scandals. They avoid those like the plague. Because you know why? Because they're terrible for ratings.
There's never been in history anything like it. $10,200,000 from China.
$10,200,000. What was the extra $200K for?
Millions and millions of dollars from Ukraine. These are compromised people. The people.
Millions. Well, I guess, okay. So Hunter's salary now.
People that are leading us are corrupt and they're compromised. And they're using.
Just for the record, I know you could probably say that you think we're supporting Ukraine because they've got something on Biden, and that's what I don't know why the rest of Europe and the industrialized world, the developed world, is supporting Ukraine. I guess they got something on everybody. Is that what happened? Did they manage to sucker everybody's vice president, their premier, or their deputy prime minister into something? They managed to get that on. Okay, and what else? Oh yeah, in China. What is China getting in return?
The weaponization of the DOJ, or I call it the Department of Injustice.
So the DOI. All right. Well, you just call it the DOI. It would sound, make sense coming out of your face.
The FBI, etc. Now a brilliant judge, highly respected yesterday, came out with a statement and a decision that the government cannot go to the social media because what they did was cheat, okay? What they did was cheat, and they cheated on the elections.
They totally fucked up my whole October surprise that Rudy said he had it for over a year. He said, if anybody gets a good look at this, it's not going to work. We got to wait till right before the election and then release it. And then they wouldn't let us do it because it was obviously a trap. So they avoided the whole October surprise thing. We fixed that, but obviously it's not like Biden's going to have any new scandals between now and then. He's not stupid. Unlike him, who literally has created more scandals since he left office.
And the pollsters will tell you it made from 10 to a 17 point. That's millions and millions of votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been saying this forever. No. Nobody gave a rat's ass that Hunter Biden fucking smoked cigarette in the bathtub.
Difference. That's different from stuffing the ballot box, which if you look at Truth to Vote, which are in.
Okay, first of all, fuckhead. It's True the Vote, which is a dumb title anyways. It's not Truth the Vote. Truth Social is the name of your stupid social media claptrap machine. It's True the... Fucking hell. Why do I have to fix this shit?
Incredible, Catherine Engelbrecht and the people. These are...
Catherine Engelbrecht and the people. Engelbrecht, Humperdinck, the whole crowd. They're good
incredible
people.
Patriots.
They're great patriots, whatever their name is. I don't remember the name of the company. But
they went around on tape, hundreds of thousands of votes stuffing the ballot box. The courts are afraid to look. Everybody.
Yes, they're afraid to look. That's what it is. You know who's most afraid to look, apparently? The judges you put in. Wonder why that is. I guess they want to keep their job or some shit.
He's afraid to talk.
Yes, no one wants to talk. And he's being censored right now, obviously. That's what the microphone is all about. That microphone's not even on. I'm voicing this.
Only thing the Democrats are great at is disinformation.
We're really good at it. We're so good at it. You don't even know if it's just information or not. Sometimes we're so good at it, we can misinform you about real stuff to the point where you're informed. Huh? It's like a rope-a-dope.
As an example, they go after me, they indict me, but they say they really want to run against Trump. They don't want to run against Trump because I'm beating Biden in virtually every poll by a lot. And we had, speaking of polls, we had some polls just come out. We're leading in Texas by 50 points against DeSanctimonious. I call him DeSanctimonious because he was dead politically. He was gone.
Yeah, this is the origin story. And you know me about origin stories, especially when it comes to oranges stories. That's the one where he was like, he couldn't say origin and kept saying oranges over and over again, which is a great oranges story if you need to hear one. But when he keeps having to explain, like he calls Asa Hutchinson Ada Hutchinson, but he's not quite sure why. So he's, instead of making up a good reason, like he's against the ADA, or he's always asking for help, Ada, well, I don't know, make up some fucking story. He just goes, I call him Ada, I don't know why, it just comes to me.
He was at nothing. He campaigned horribly.
Right, so again, we've heard this story before, but just as a preamble, if I may, if I could use some like Star Wars like graphics that get, that just tells the story so far. What this man is about to tell you is that him, with knowing the best people, hashtag the best people, and knowing politics and money better than anybody, and we have stupid people running everything, met Ron DeSanctimonious, who was tears in his eyes, I guess, tears in his eyes, about to become the Masters champion. Came up to Trump and said, I'm losing, boss. I need to win. I gotta win. I'm running up against this guy. And he's going to be caught in a hotel with crack and a male hooker in a couple months. But I don't know that at this point in the timeline. And I'm up against a guy that actually might govern the state normally. And you got to help me out. And so Trump said, you know what? I've been reading the Bible and the Sodom and Gomorrah story because it's somebody told me it's good whacking material. And God looked at Sodom and Gomorrah. He was like, "There's no good people in here. I find there's one good family, Lot and his wife and his two daughters. And I think of all the people in Sodom and Gomorrah, these are the only keepers. That's what God told me. He said these are the only keepers. And God's a great judge of character, just like I am. And he saved Lot and his wife, of course, did listen because women don't listen. And she looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. And then, of course, but there were still three good people. God made a good decision about Sodom and Gomorrah. He's like, Lot, his two daughters, they're all fine. That night, they go to a cave because their house, I blew up their house, God said. And the daughters got their dad drunk and fucked him. So not so much a great judge characters. So even God makes mistakes, and I, like God, made a mistake in choosing Ron DeSantis craziness.
He came out, he begged me for an endorsement. He did a little bit of work on the impeachment hoax #1 and impeachment hoax #2. Did a little work, like he was one of 200 people.
So he snowed you, and he played to your ego, and you're such a fucking idiot that you literally set up your main rival because you were too dumb to see the play in what he was doing. Gee, it's almost like I don't want you anywhere near Vladimir Putin ever again.
Congressman, virtually every politician, we got a unanimous vote. Think of it in the Republican Party, because it's hard, because we have guys like Romney and some other people in the Republican Party. But in the House, we got a unanimous vote. I think it was 196 or 197 to nothing. That doesn't happen. And what happened here was incredible. The loyalty and the unity and everything else.
Not obviously since then. It's been a little scattered.
But he was one of the people, and he went out, and on occasion you'd see him on television talking.
He wasn't one of the people. He was. Right.
Now, he did it for himself as well as for me. But we had hundreds of people doing it. he came to see me and he wanted to know, could I support him and could I endorse him? I said, listen, Ron, you're so dead that if...
How dead is he? You're so dead. Like The Walking Dead wouldn't hire you as an extra because you walk like you're a dead person, I think.
Abraham Lincoln and George Washington came back from the dead. And if they put their hands and hearts together as prayed for, the pastor made a beautiful prayer just before we came up, and I appreciate that. But the pastor could have prayed. I think
the pastor could have prayed. The pastor could have paid even.
Put their hands and hearts together as prayed for. The pastor made a beautiful prayer just before we came up, and I appreciate that. But the pastor could have prayed. I think nothing is going to change. Ron, you are gone. And he said, if you endorse me, in the state of Florida, which we love, we all love Florida.
We do. We love Florida. We love Florida, man.
And remember, Florida's easier than other places. You have the ocean and you have the sun. There's something about that works. But
yeah, in general, I mean, that's 70% of the earth and half of it most of the time.
That's why Florida's great, you know. It's it's a little briny, a little salty. People get burned out and weird. You got the meth as well.
But you have the sun too, but you don't have the ocean, I can tell you. You definitely don't have the ocean.
Are you sure? You sure?
Maybe someday you'll have the ocean. You never know.
I think that's a joke about California falling into the sea and millions of people dying because I guess he's going for the Lex Luthor vote.
Someday. Hopefully it's a long time away, right? Hopefully. But he said if you endorse...
Hopefully. But when it's happened, I would buy, you're going to want to buy the real estate, you know, but you can't afford to buy a house because inflammation is so high.
I say, look, you know what? You're in big trouble. You haven't run a great campaign, but I'm going to endorse you.
Listen, you suck. You're no good. You don't have any shot at all, but I'm going to endorse you. There's something about you that says you're the one. You starting to understand how this guy's cabinet all turned on him?
He became like, that same day, became like a rocket ship. And the other guy who had like a 40-point lead, had tremendous lead. He couldn't have been beaten. He was already measuring for carpets and for drapes in the governor's mansion.
Yeah, not just in general. He wasn't just like walking around.
And Ron won, and then we got him past the man Gillum. He was running. He was going to be the next president of the United States. He was a good-looking guy, running, couldn't be stopped. Ron said, I can't beat him. I don't think I can beat him. I said...
Yeah, but they didn't know about the whole, like, drugs and male hooker thing. That kind of threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, I think, don't you say?
You said that about the primary, too, and you won. You said, look, let's give it a shot. We did, I think, 2 or 3 rallies. I think 3. Big.
Yeah, it's easy to, they blend together. I mean, honestly.
Big rallies, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And they came out. I said,
for Ron?
I know you're going to win. And he ended up winning. And then about 3 years later, they said to him, will you run against the president? And he said, I have no comment on that. I said, he has no comment. That means he's running. I said, that son of a bitch is running. I got him elected.
By the way, that is the only true thing that has been said this entire speech so far. That's absolutely what happened. He absolutely flipped out and went, what the, this motherfucker? I don't think he said son of a bitch, though.
So I'm not a big fan of his. And
I wasn't a big fan at the start, but I decided to make him the governor of Florida because I could see the future, and I understand politics better than even the politicians.
He's highly overrated. He's highly overrated.
Yeah, so what does that say about your picks?
Remember, he's the one that wanted to cut Social Security. He's the one that wanted to raise the minimum age, and he voted on this. This isn't just. And the one thing you have to remember, when a politician comes out with an initial plan, and then they go into a corner because they're getting killed, because he's getting killed. He's like, his thing is going. Well, he also.
It's going. I'm sorry. It's going what?
When a politician comes out with an initial plan, and then they go into a corner because they're getting killed, because he's getting killed. He's like, his thing is going. Well, he also has no personality. That helps, right?
Yeah, the hushing part, I think, is really the issue more than anything.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Uh-huh.
As a politician, you have to have personality. You saw where he wants to change his name. It's DeSantis. He wants to call it DeSantis, but you don't do it in the middle of a campaign. You never change your name in the middle of a campaign. But he wanted to. He voted against.
I don't. Was that a story? I think it's pronounced DeSantis anyway.
Social Security, wanted to obliterate it, and he wanted to change, and he voted either 3 or 6 times. They're getting it, I think it's 6 times, but at a minimum of 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're talking about numbers, so ballpark it. It's either a number or double that number, one or the other.
And he voted against a thing called Medicare. So if anybody doesn't mind losing your Social Security or losing your Medicare, I suggest immediately go out and vote for this guy. But they always come back to that position. Just remember that. They will go for a campaign, for an election, they'll say something, but they always go back to the position.
I see. So if you're getting killed on something and you back away from it, you'll always go back to it. So keep that in mind, all you fucking progressive assholes who, when Trump said women need to be punished if they get an abortion, no matter why they got the abortion, even to save their own life, it should be a crime. Remember, even if he walks that back or whatever, what he's telling you right now, okay, right this second, if you're dumb enough to buy into any of this shit, this is him saying, whatever I say in the future, understand I'm always going to go back to the shit I said before.
His record on COVID was more of a public relations stunt. He closed up the state. He closed up the beaches, closed up everything. Now, if you listen to him, he didn't close, but he did. But enough of that. Let me
move on, obviously.
just say we're leading by so much.
So much. You're doing so well. I mean, I don't even know why you have to tell him. You know, your numbers are going like nobody's even seen before.
The big battle is going to be we got to beat the Democrats because they start off with an automatic number of votes.
Yes, we have more people. I mean, granted, small populous states give you guys the edge in the Senate that we have to fight back against, but
including in your state. We did phenomenally here last time and phenomenally in 2016. But we have to, if we stop the cheating, we are going to win. I'm not even worried about the votes. I tell people, I say, I'm not worried about the votes. You know, they come and, sir, we'd like to support you. I said, I don't need any support. I don't want any help during the campaign. All I want is I want your help during the election. They used to call it election day. Now they call it election period because some of these damn elections are going for 62 days where they have the ballots piled up in corners and you say, what happened to the ballots that were in that corner? Oh, sir, we moved them to a different location. This is the most corrupt thing. And
they aren't your ballots. You know that, right? Your folks are not voting early. It's one of the reasons why you lost last time. So I guess the fear should be, are you just basically saying, is this a warning that Democrats, if people vote ahead of time their ballots are stored someplace, he's going to get people to, during the election, to get rid of them? Is that did he accidentally say the quiet part loud?
Ultimately, we want to go back to same-day voting, paper ballots, and voter ID, right? Same-day voting and voter ID.
Well, what does same-day voting mean? You mean one-day voting? You mean voting on election day? Same day vote? You're always voting on the same day you voted. Unless it takes you a long time to fill out the form and you show up at 11:59.
And when we do that, you know, France actually
is doing great. Yeah, good example. France is make an example of how you want the country to be more like France. it's the timing couldn't be better.
I got him to do things for us with phone calls. But France
Because, dirty talk sounds better with a French accent. I don't know why, but it's true.
had their election recently. They had 37 million votes. At 10 o'clock, it was over. At 11 o'clock, everything was counted. They had paper ballots, all paper ballots with voter ID. And they had a winner and they had a loser. And everybody went home, and now they're already campaigning for the next election.
And excuse me, but people filled out their paper ballots, but they still counted them electronically. He knows this, right?
And that's the way we should be. How about this? They use machines for speed. Some of these elections go weeks and weeks and weeks. They don't know. You take a look at some.
That's because you guys file recounts. You end up losing, and then you file a lawsuit. That's why it goes on, because your side gets mad that you lost. That's why they went on weeks and weeks and weeks. And the result, it didn't matter. The result at the end was exactly the fucking same as it was the day after the election, or at least by the Wednesday evening or Thursday morning.
Some of the states, like here, you take a look at some of the states where we think we're going to have a number within 2 weeks. Pennsylvania, we're going to have a number within 2 weeks. If you go paper ballots, if you go voter ID, you got to have voter ID. And by the way,
somebody's phone's ringing. That's how small the room is.
Mail-in is a disaster. Anytime you have mail-in, anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have dishonest elections. They send millions and millions of ballots. Now, last time they used COVID in order to cheat. This time, hopefully, they're not going to have COVID or the equivalent of COVID.
No, we're definitely not. No.
But they used COVID in order to cheat.
You do realize you were president, right?
You have to have, ultimately, we got to win the election first. And if we
that's the tough part, I guess.
we win the election, we're going to paper ballots. We're going to immediately voter ID, and we're
great. Then everybody gets a free ID, like a real ID for every U.S. citizen that has like an RFID protection on it and that kind of stuff, so that it can be used for just about everything. Like, or Republicans are going to run against it as the mark of the beast.
going to same-day voting. We go to same-day voting.
He means one-day voting. Again, same-day voting is so fucking weird. Or your votes have to be counted the same day that you vote?
So inflation has been a killer. It's been an absolute killer. We're going to do that. We're going
to do more inflation. Inflation's been killer, so killer inflation is the way we're going to go. That's how we're going to do it. It's amazing. I know how to do it. Hold on.
The numbers should skyrocket downward. I was a private business people.
Mm-hmm.
The wall. So we did. I love it.
I love the wall. The wall is so good. I love QuickTime Heart.
You know the sad? I got elected on the border, the horrible border that we had in 2016. And I did such a good job that in 2020, it wasn't even a topic, Michael, that you could discuss.
COVID, fuckhead. Nobody was coming in. Good Lord.
There was nothing to discuss. You couldn't talk about the border.
Yeah, you could. You did almost nothing but.
Because the border was so good in 2020. So I took it off. I said, maybe I can brag about what a good job we did, but we did a phenomenal job. It was no longer a topic of discussion.
Oh, my God. Yes, it was.
We did an even better job just recently.
Just recently? What the fuck are you talking about? More recent than the last election where you couldn't talk about what?
Except they came in and they're letting everybody flow into our country.
Oh my God, anybody wants to come in, here they come. They're working, they're taking jobs at Mar-a-Lago. You don't have to ask me. El Ketchupo, I have to learn how to say words that I didn't want to, I'm learning Spanish at a level no one even could think was possible at this point.
They're letting people coming in from prisons, jails.
They're letting people coming in.
just recently, except they came in and they're letting everybody flow into our country. They're letting people coming in from prisons, jails.
Yes, they're letting people coming in from prisons, jails.
Some of the worst convicts anywhere in the world. And it's
Yeah, the worst ones, brown ones.
I mean, honestly.
not just the 4 countries that surround us and that are near us.
Canada, Mexico, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, Bahamas.
It's 128 different countries.
Well, yeah, of course, but via, 128 different countries are all learning Spanish.
Letting their prisoners out. They're emptying up their mental institutions.
Yeah, guys, they are emptying up their mental institutions and they're letting people coming in.
Just the 4 countries that surround us and that are near us. It's 128 different countries. They're letting their prisoners out. They're emptying up their mental institutions, emptying them out into the United
Up, out, anytime. Basically, they just open them up. The windows, the doors, the trap doors.
States of America. And what's
It's pronounced the United States up America. I'm just saying.
happening is unbelievable for our country. They are destroying our country.
Yeah, it's gone. I mean, it's destroyed. I don't know why you're running to be president of a garbage heap that's on fire. It's very strange. What a patriot.
But we're going to get it back.
Totally. We're going to bring it
Back. The first thing we're going to do is get all these fucking crazy people out here yelling Spanish and stabbing people. We're going to scoop them all up in vans. And we're going to send them back to 120 some odd different
Bringing
countries.
it back. We're bringing it back fast. If we didn't build the wall, we built hundreds of miles of wall. And after we had it all finished, I said, give me a report. Where else? Because when you build it, all of a sudden, sort of like water, all of a sudden. And they said, sir, if we could do it.
sort of like water. He means going around it. Of course, I'm just saying water, when it hits a wall, yeah, it goes around. When it hits a slat fence, it just, I guess, filters through.
Another 200 miles. So we built it and we had it all ordered. All we had to do is erect the wall.
Well, that's what it was. He's always had a problem with erections. And now it's affected his presidency. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Happens to every man eventually, maybe
we need some little blue pills. We put them at the bar, just bury them in the sand, and then those walls will erect themselves.
You saw that happen.
Yes. A lot of people saw you have troubles with your erection.
Water, all of a sudden. And they said, sir, if we could do another 200 miles. So we built it and we had it all ordered. All we had to do is erect the wall. You saw that happen. They could have done it in 3 weeks because when the election didn't happen, then it was up to them. And it said,
when the election didn't happen, then it was up to them. You couldn't sign a piece of paper on November 6th that would spend the rest of the money getting the wall erected since it was already built.
All you had to do was erect it.
instead of doing it, they took it all away and they put it
Yeah, they made a museum. The Trump library is just going to be
Surrounded by a wall, no books.
in faraway places where
Yes, far away. They, mountaintops.
people can't get to us.
yes.
And when
Sorry, what?
when the election didn't happen, then it
Right.
was up to them. And instead of doing it, they took it all away and they put it in faraway places where people can't get to us. And when Texas and Arizona wanted to have
Wait a minute. So his argument is that the Biden administration took sections of wall that this is dumb. Took sections of wall that he had already had allocated to attach to the other wall, and they erected it. But they
I had to beat off.
they erected it in an area where no one crosses. That's it. That's what happened.
Have the wall that was already paid for because most of it was built. What I said was built, but now we wanted to add more. They wouldn't give it. And then I said, you know, they actually really want open borders. I can't even imagine it.
If they wanted open borders, why didn't they knock down the shit you already? Why didn't they just go say it's a hazard? We got to take it down, and then just maybe hire some Contras to come up and blow up parts of it, the support structure. So I was like, you don't think that government could have gotten away with that? I mean,
As corrupt as they all are.
Why would somebody want it unless they want to destroy? Either they're stupid, which they're not, because you can't be stupid and cheat on elections like they cheat, or they hate
or they didn't cheat, and they are stupid. That would be another option, I guess.
our country, and they
And you lost to stupid people. This is the other.
have to hate our country. So we were
Let me go back to my remarks.
we were going to make so much money.
And by we, I mean
Dodd, Eric, myself, mostly myself, Melania, but fucking preed up.
With energy, we were going to have a country. If you
we will going.
take a look at Saudi Arabia, we have more than Saudi Arabia. We have more
Yes, we know.
than Russia. We had a find in Alaska many years ago, and we were going to be drilling in Alaska, the likes of which nobody had. We think it's probably bigger, Anwar it's called, probably bigger than Saudi Arabia, probably, but right around that size.
Oh, I thought we were already bigger than them before we discovered that stuff. What do you mean probably? What the fuck is this probably shit?
But maybe bigger.
Maybe, possibly, probably, but
Maybe not. We don't
And
know.
we were all set to start.
yeah, we were get this close, and then they fucked up the whole thing.
Reagan couldn't get it approved. Bush, of course, couldn't get it approved.
You didn't get it approved. You did a temporary thing on it in the next, and then you lost the election. So obviously the voters didn't approve.
Nobody could get it approved. I got it approved. And one of the first things they did is they ended that, and they ended the Keystone Pipeline. 50,000 jobs, but much more importantly than the jobs. And think of it, the union, head of the union, the pipe union, the
Pipe union. Yeah, you know that guy. Captain Pipe. Tim Pipe.
union that were all the men were 48,000 people, the head of
The head of the pipe, the tip of the pipe, just the tip. Yeah.
that union was a Democrat who fought hard for Biden. And then the first day he did, the first thing, I think it was the first move he made, he ended the Keystone Pipeline. Those 48,000 people were decimated. They moved
That's right. They don't do anything else now. None of those. The only thing they know how to do is connect Canadian pipe together.
their homes, they moved everything.
They moved their homes. They moved everything.
They were decimated. We had the Keystone Pipeline ended. We had Anwar, most importantly.
Wait a minute. We had the Keystone Pipeline ended. He means Nord Stream 2. By the way, you can tell.
Anwar. Think of it. We would have been making so much money for this country
And this country would be Canada.
with the liquid gold right under our feet. Your energy bills are through the roof. And everybody's, not only the cars. And now you're forced to buy all electric cars. You know,
No, you're not. I don't know if you. Did he drive past any car lots on his? Is he seen a gas station? I mean, I know he can't drive a car, so he probably believes that.
maybe you want to drive for a little bit longer than an hour. There are some people that want to drive for a little bit more than an hour, you know? It's like, I'll tell you, the one business that's great, though, I don't know if anybody has a little loose
Tow truck.
cash, but go out and buy a tow truck business, because tow trucks are doing very well right now because all the cars are getting stuck all over the place. Let's tow them to an electric charger so we can drive for another 59 minutes before that one goes up.
So what you're saying is Elon Musk is a lying asshole. Okay, gotcha.
And you know what? You should have electric cars, but you should have all types. You should have hybrid.
Yeah, you should have coal. You should have a nuclear car.
That thing, that Mr. Fusion on the back of the DeLorean, you should have that.
You should have combustion. You should have whatever the hell the market will pay for. That's what you should
Combustion or whatever.
have. But a lot of people don't want to drive an electric car.
And a lot of people don't want to drive a
Combustion car.
A lot of people want to drive for 6 hours.
Yeah, they do. A lot of people do want to drive for 6 hours desperately. I don't know anybody who doesn't love a good 6-hour drive.
I have a friend, he always loved driving to Washington from a certain state. He's a congressman.
He loved the drive.
Always loved it. And now
He did. He always loved it. Friend of mine, you know him. He calls me sir. I was like, why are you calling me Mr. President?
but he felt an obligation to buy an electric car, even though if you think of it, the batteries, making those batteries and all of the problem is far worse in terms of the environment if you're a big believer, which I'm a believer in the environment. I want clean air, I want clean water, more so than anybody.
Yeah, more so than anybody. Yeah, that's the thing is the guy who wanted to drill in Anwar more than anybody.
But he said, I'm going to buy an electric car. So now he had to stop 5 times to get, and the stop is longer than the drive, you know. And you know what he did? He ended up gaining a lot of weight. He stopped and he ate like a dog for an hour and a half.
He ate like a dog for an hour and a half. That's right. Electric cars make you fat. This is the... Golf carts are electric, aren't they?
We're going to deport the criminal, illegal aliens that have come into our country quickly.
Quickly. Quick trial.
We're going to obliterate the deep state. We were doing a good job by
Yeah, we're so getting rid of the deep state. I didn't know who they were, though.
fired Comey.
We fired Comey, and then you put in Ray, who's been bulletproof, great for Republicans, for you. He's got your back. And you put in Barr. You got rid of that, whoever the fuck else, and you threw in Sessions, and he was a little, everybody makes one mistake, but you put in Barr, cleared that shit right up.
I fired that sleazebag Comey. We got rid of him. It was bad news. And very early on, somebody said, why didn't you do it fast? I did it right at the beginning. He has a long-term contract. I fired Comey. That was a good one. That's when we found out about the insurance policy, just in case that she lost, Hillary. We call her Beautiful Hillary now, right? We changed her name because she's a beautiful woman. We call her Beautiful Hillary. You know why? Because I'm using the word crooked. I don't like doing the same word for two people. We're using the word crooked for Joe Biden because Joe Biden
is so crooked. And really, I have one word, and I just use it. Hashtag crooked.
is the most crooked president in the history of our country by a factor of hundreds.
By a factor of 100.
He's a crook.
But is he crooked? That's the question.
We're going to end all of the things you see and ban critical race theory and trans.
Yes. I think that was a little. Yeah, I was critical race theory, trans stuff. Yeah, you're gonna ban all the things you see. Okay.
Gender ideology from our schools, from our university. We're banning it. We're banning it. What they do.
Oh, we're gonna ban it. We're banning it now. Some people call it cancel culture. I don't call it that. I call it banning culture. Ban on the run. One of my favorite songs.
What they do is so horrible. And, one of the things that I've been talking about, you have to say before anybody, we are going to end men joining women's teams. Let's play. Let's play.
Let's play. Let's play.
No more men in women's sports. You saw the swimming records, they're being obliterated.
This is the same shit. We've heard this before.
Records that stood for 19 years, they're off by about
Right.
an eighth of a second. But they're going to be broken, and these young ladies are out there swimming at 5 o'clock in the morning before school. They're going to break that record. And then a guy comes along and breaks the record by 38 seconds. The greatest is the weightlifting, though. I don't know. It's like 219 pounds is the record. They add on a quarter of a pound and a quarter of a little tiny, they put like it's a piece of dust on the side of each.
First of all, please God, at some point, have Trump show up to an interview and go, we know you're an older man, but we understand, according to Ronnie Jackson, you're one of the healthiest people out there. We know that both Biden and Obama have a 125 plus bench press. Biden's was a lot better when he was younger, but even now, He's at somewhere like 125, 150 on the regular. He's more of a bicyclist, but he can still do that. So we brought a deadlift setup for you. We got rubber plates on this, not too much. It's about just all we did is we put 145 on either side, and we would love for you, sir, to do like act out the clean and jerk like you do at those things, but with a real weight. We want it because you're a big, strong, manly mailman. And we just think if you just kind of come over here, you'll be able to just chuck that fucker up and, just do a couple of hot press, shoulder presses, American shoulder press.
Make shoulder press great again. American shoulder press.
And then just drop it. Just give a good, just throw them show them what the move is so people know what you're talking about. Because some people watch this, they don't quite know.
And a woman's there, her parents are there, her boyfriend's there, they're all watching. They got to watch her. And she gets up and she lifts that barbell, and that barbell's even breaking a little bit. It's bending, steel barbell.
No.
And she's up almost to the top, and she's getting ready. That final push. She's got a quarter of a pound, just a quarter, that's all. Should have been less.
I had to beat off dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
And can't do it. Just can't. Dead, Mom, I can't do it. Can't do it. Boom. Didn't break the record. Then the guy comes up. Have you lifted before? No, I haven't. Oh. You haven't lifted? No.
Well, Trump's never lifted before, so he could probably do it, right?
No, but I've always wanted to, but I'm in the competition. Oh, good. And he gets over the thing. Bing, bong, bong, bong.
Bing, bong, bong, bong. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it goes.
And they break the record like by 103 pounds. It is so demeaning to women. It's so horrible. It's so stupid.
You mean this whole thing? Your description of this is so demeaning to women and horrible? Yeah.
It's like, I say it's like April Fool's.
Oh my God, he's not going to do the April Fool's fucking thing, is it? He's decided this is the win. This is the end. Shit.
So many of the things they have, open borders. Who wants open borders? Who wants to have people coming in? Who wants people coming in from foreign countries?
Who wants people coming in from foreign countries? We want people coming in from American countries. Wait.
Who wants it? Who wants to have elections? Think of it, where millions of votes come in. You don't know where the hell they're coming. They send out millions and millions and millions of ballots all over the place. Then they come back. Nobody has any idea where they're from. It's a rigged. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And the Democrats, you know who knows it better than anybody? The Democrats know it.
Well, yeah, of course we know it. Know what?
And in fact, Democrats, the actual voter, they want to do something about it. They want to do something about it.
Yeah, because we want voter ID. Yeah, but we want a government to present. We want everybody to have one for free. But if you charge people for it, no.
But the politicians don't. Because when you have policies of open borders and no voter ID and high interest rates and high taxes, look at the taxes. They want to quadruple your taxes.
That's a lot. Yeah, they want to quadruple your taxes. If you're a billionaire, because you're paying 7%.
Quadruple. It used to be if you were a politician, when I was a kid growing up.
Citation needed. I don't think you actually grew up.
If you were a politician, you said, I will reduce taxes. Well, that's what I say. I'm old-fashioned. They want to increase your taxes.
I think it's just old. I think old is enough. You don't fashioned. I don't know that fashion even applies.
By 4 times. Where you pay 4 times as much tax. Your interest rates have gone through. Since I got out, your interest rates have gone through. We're getting the interest rates down.
We are. We're totally doing it. I'm doing it. My policies are doing it, even when they're not doing it.
We're getting the energy down. You're going to make so much money. You're going to be so happy. You're going to love the president so much, even more than you did before. Even more.
Even more if you vote. I don't know. It's a small crowd. I don't know what I'm doing here. This fucking sucks. And this is literally my 3rd best building, and it's my 5th worst. I don't know how that's even possible. Here in Vegas, it's just ugly. It is. I look at it now and I'm like, God, my own name makes me sick. I know what it's like to be a Democrat.
You know, we made great trade deals. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, they only let people in here who like me. That's disappointing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. You're the volunteers. Of course you do. Fucking assholes. What am I doing here? It's just so sad. The whole thing is very sad. I mean, these are small crowds like nobody's even seen before. I mean, literally, the crowds are getting so small, no one will literally be able to see them anymore. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. What's it going to be like? Am I going to be at like a coffee house open mic in a couple of years? This is just so sad. Melania won't even be there. She doesn't like coffee. She keeps her awake when I'm farting.
So, a little thing that took place. Let's go, because, we have
April Fools.
two things. First, thank you very much. We will.
I was going to do the whole April Fool's thing, but I blew it off. I don't have time. They started chanting my name, and I was like, fuck it.
We have a couple of little things. First, we have a primary coming up. We got to win the primary first, right? So, one of the things I just learned recently, the Sanctimonies voted to fund Yucca Mountain as a dumping ground for nuclear waste. So, DeSantis wants to use
DeSanctus.
Well, I've shortened it. I don't have time to say DeSanctimonious, so I'm going to call him DeSanctus. I'm going to call him DeSanka at some point because he's like decaf.
Yucca Mountain, which
That's actually a better one. What he's come
affects
up
your whole state. That's not just a little
state.
area. That stuff, it's all over the place. What
It's all over the place. They wrote it on a list here. Apparently, this is stuff you hate. I have no idea.
a mess. So he
It's a mess. This is my reading hand. Anybody do that where you're reading something and you put your hand up because you're good at, it's like when you're in class, you're going to answer and you're actually reading from the note you bought from the poor kid.
wants
past
Yucca
wasn't that
Mountain
long ago.
as a dumping ground for waste. Now, he's not going to say that. I don't know how he gets out of it, but he's not going to. It's like in Iowa. We had a tremendous crowd yesterday, and
Yeah, it's totally like Iowa. And they're totally going to dump nuclear waste in Iowa. Hold on. Let me if I grab this and pull this over here. Before the 2018 midterm elections, Senator Dean Heller stood with President Trump in the glittering Trump International Hotel near the Las Vegas Strip, looking out for the top floor, and he pointed. I said, "See those railroad tracks?" Mr. Heller, a Nevada Republican who lost his seat later that year, recalled in an interview. Nuclear waste to be carted to Yucca Mountain for permanent storage would have traveled along those tracks within a half a mile of the hotel, Mr. Heller said. I think he calculated pretty quickly what that meant. I think it all made sense. There was a moment of reflection. Oh, okay. Whether the waste would have traveled along those particular tracks is a subject of debate, but the conversation appears to have helped focus Mr. Trump, who in recent weeks seems to end his administration's support for moving nuclear waste to Yucca Mountain, a proposal that had been embraced by his appointees for 3 years, despite his own lack of interest. Why should you have nuclear waste in your backyard? Trump said to the crowd in a rally in Las Vegas on Friday, to applause, noting that his recently released budget proposal did not include funding to license the site. The story of the muddled and shifting position on Yucca Mountain is partly one of the administration focused on Mr. Trump's re-election chances. A battleground state he lost to Hillary Clinton by 2 percentage points in 2016, but is also emblematic of a White House where the president has strong impulses on only a narrow set of issues, and policy is something made in his name regardless of whether he approves of it. In Mr. Trump's decentralized administration, top aides and agency leaders have sometimes pursued their own agendas, at times creating politically perilous situations for him. Because he doesn't bother to fucking follow through. He doesn't care.
This is a crowd of volunteers, but Iowa.
Yeah, a volunteer. You guys volunteered to be here. Technically, that's true of everywhere because I can't fill a place if we make people pay for tickets.
Well, we had a tremendous crowd of people. It was great. But I told him, I said, they want ethanol. And he was against ethanol. And when he was against ethanol, he just lost Iowa. But now he wants to go back and maybe he wants to rethink ethanol. Let me tell you, he's not going to do it. And by the way, in Iowa, we're winning by 38 points, too. So
It's weird. It's the same in each state. You're winning by 38 points everywhere. Weird.
But if you don't mind nuclear waste dumped in your backyard, I suggest you vote for Ron DeSanctimonious, okay? They say no. I'd say no, too.
I wouldn't like it in my backyard. You know what I like in my backyard? Drunk Floridian foreign businessmen and weird women who claim to be a Rothschild. That's what I like in my backyard. Classified documents buried with my wife. That's what I like in my backyard. What's not to like?
I say no, too. Look, we are a
Thanks. I'm glad.
special group. This is a very special group of people.
We are a very special group, and by we I mean me.
I really appreciate it that you're here. I actually diverted. I was going someplace else. I wanted to come and say hello to Michael and all of the people.
I wasn't going to stop here, but I have a building here, so I was like, fuck it. I could write this off.
And this is the most, and by the way, Seagal, this is the most important thing you've ever done. I tell you, you have to be able to.
Steven Seagal is there? It's Seagal. Chata.
You have to be able to stop this. Just like.
Yeah, you got to stop my election. We got to stop this. You got to stop me having to come to this fucking place. I'm not going to win it. What am I doing here?
The success you had on that other very big fight, you had a tremendous legal success, but you have to be able to stop it. This is the most important election in the history of our country, okay? And I used to say that about.
Obviously, that's what I said about every election I've been a part
About
of.
2016, and I didn't say it so much in 2020 because we had it going well. Little did we realize that everything he said was a lie. He said energy, sure, we love energy. Well, he doesn't love energy. He doesn't love religion either. There's no.
No, he doesn't. It's he just goes to church all the time for show. No one loves religion like someone who never goes to church.
That's how you keep loving it. You know what I mean? It's like you could tell that I love Melania because I've stopped fucking her.
Nobody who's religious, Christian, any form of religion that
Christian, the other ones
can vote for this guy because they are against religion. You take a look. Look at the Catholic Church. I mean, they're persecuting Catholics.
I know. Biden's Catholic. I know. Yeah. I just think he thinks Catholic came up because
Persecuting Catholics.
They're totally persecuting him. They got 3 of them being crucified on the lawn right now.
They are against religion. They're against so much that we all stand for. So I only say this. This is the most important election in the history of our country. We're going to have a country that's going to be greater than ever before, or we're going to have a country that's going to be a Venezuela on steroids.
Now, if Venezuela was on steroids, I think they'd be bigger and stronger, would they not? I mean, I think what you mean is Venezuela on crack, maybe? Crazy and out of control and on a downward spiral. I'm just saying, on steroids, it doesn't make sense.
Venezuela, think of that.
I am.
Venezuela is becoming very rich.
So if Venezuela is becoming very rich, and we're becoming Venezuela on steroids, then we'll be big and rich? Isn't that a country band?
He won't take the great oil that we have under our feet, our liquid gold, but he's taking the tar from Venezuela. And you know where it's refined? There's only one refinery in the whole world that can do it. It's in Houston, Texas. So all that stuff is spewing into the air, and they talk about...
Fucking Texans. Texas, why don't you fix your shit, man? What are you doing?
They talk about all of the things about energy. We are now making Venezuela the few remaining people, which is mostly because so many of them have left. And
they've all come here, to, I guess, make us rich too, on steroids.
Never be able to go back.
No.
So we're making a dictator.
They can't go back. Obviously, it's too rich a country. It won't let them in.
Dictator from Venezuela who was ready to fold. If I were there, he would have been gone by now.
Okay, why? You were gonna. I'm sorry. Explain to me the whole why RFK says he's glad you like him, and Russell Brand is always defending you. So explain to me why bragging that you would knock off a South American dictator and that you're an old-fashioned Republican in those regards, which I suppose in the Reagan tradition in that regard, maybe that's what you're talking about? Explain to me how imperialistic America knocking off the head of Venezuela and seizing their oil, which he said we would have done by now, why that's preferable to us just buying oil from Venezuela if they want to sell it with certain limits on it.
He would have been gone in many
different
ways.
Yes, in many different ways. He would have been fired, and they would have been drawn and quartered.
We're making him a very rich man, a very rich man. We are taking oil. It's not oil. It's really tar. It's very heavy, very horrible. And refining it is a
unlike our nice, clean coal.
Big problem. It's more costly to refine it than it is to sell it.
Well, then why are businessmen in Houston so fucking dumb? How is that? Listen to that again. Just listen to that.
We're taking oil. It's not oil. It's really tar. It's very heavy, very horrible. And refining it is a big problem. It's more costly to refine it than it is to sell it. But with using Venezuela, because I use Venezuela, would be Venezuela on steroids, but I can't say that anymore because Venezuela is becoming a very rich country.
Okay, all right. There's so much dumb there. I don't even know where to fucking start, I think. That's amazing. That's so Venezuela on steroids is now bragging rights. So Biden's going to make us better than we are. And it costs more to sell something than to refine it. Costs more to sell it than to. So Houston refineries are going into the red because they've taken contracts to refine tar, which isn't even oil, from Venezuela, and turn it into gasoline, which I think technically isn't science. It's what's the word? Miracle.
And the people that are benefiting are the people that we've been trying to get out for years.
All right. We've been trying to get them out for years? Who's we, motherfucker?
The dictator.
I see.
And dictators.
Yeah, obviously. It's a group of them. It's like a gang. They all wear leather jackets with matching insignia.
Because we had one before, now we have another one.
Right.
But we would try to get rid of them. We just can't.
My hat's off to them because they've done a great job. They've conned Joe Biden into doing something that's unthinkable. But think of it. People have fled Venezuela, and now Venezuela is going to be a rich country for the people that run it because we refuse to take good, beautiful stuff that's very easy, inexpensive, and not environmentally prohibitive. Thank you. That's true.
It is true. It's true.
What's true? What did they yell?
That's very easy, inexpensive, and not environmentally prohibitive. Thank you. That's true. It's just something that is so.
It's something, Mr. Trump. I don't know what.
Crazy. All of these things. I could go through 50 of them.
Yeah, but we're tired of hearing you talk. So wrap it up.
It's literally the opposite.
Yes, everything you say. Reality is literally the opposite.
Every single thing. We should have a border. We should have great elections. We should do this. We should do that. We got to have voter ID. We got to do things properly.
Yeah, we got to do things properly. If only you had been president for 4 years. Imagine what you could have.
Country is a mess. We are a failing nation.
That's the spirit. Somebody start humming the national anthem.
We're a nation in decline.
Yeah, I think
the numbers should skyrocket downward. We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges. Mm-hmm. We are soon, if we win the election, and we have no choice. If
we got no choice, otherwise I'm going to jail.
We don't win the election, this upcoming 2024 election, we are going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
It will be a country no more.
I think it will be a country no more.
Election, this upcoming 2024 election, we are going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more. That's how bad it is.
No more not country. No more do country not have a country. If we do ever do country, no. Country, no. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, let's see. Where's back to here? We're going to have no more country. And to have a country, I would think no more have country. Don't have a country. No more, no more, no more, no more. Gonna have a country no more. We're not gonna no have country. No.
In the alternative, if we win, we are going to have
country more. We're gonna have more country. Now if we have no country, if we're gonna lose, we're gonna have no more country, no country no more. And if we win, we have more country than nobody ever seen before.
My opinion, the greatest country. It will be greater than ever before for
so great and more great.
A reason. We've seen how not to do it.
Yeah, we see no not to do, and now I have a do. To have a make a do. Like you make a do when you in your pants. Like when he make, anytime a hand go up like that, make a, that when hide, he make a do.
If we did it traditionally, where we took over, people would say, oh, they'd always be complaining.
Well, you are. You're always complaining. This is true. They already say that.
Now, many of those people that would have voted Democrat are going to be voting for us. You saw.
No, except not. That's not what they do.
That a poll just recently came out. We're doing great with young people. We never did great as.
I don't think though, because as young person, I don't think you do good at all. I think you do stinky. I think you'll make a mess in your pants. Not fun. Not fun to be around. And you know, even saying we gonna have country no more is little kid language, anyways. I know you're trying to appeal to my kind of voter by saying no having country no more, but we're gonna have country. Half a half.
Republicans, we never did great. Now we're leading with young people by 16%. Nobody's ever seen it.
No, well, how young are we talking?
We're leading with women. We're leading with, as they call.
No, my mom doesn't like you. She said you grab people by the naughty bag.
Oh, it's suburban housewives. You know why? Suburban housewives, they want security. They want a border.
They want their hair done. They want cable.
They don't want everybody being killed in the city.
That's true. I think that's true. Everybody though.
Cities and then moving out. They
sorry, what?
Don't want low-income housing built right next to their house that they're so proud of, which is their next move, which they're doing.
Hold on. Back up. Hold on. I gotta put this in here. Oh, I see. Run this by me again, stupid.
We're leading with, as they call it, suburban housewives. You know why? Suburban housewives, they want security. They want a border. They don't want everybody being killed in the cities and then moving out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing worse is when murder victims move to the suburbs. They don't want everyone killed in the cities and then move out, you know, because nothing drives property values down like dead people moving in next door. I'm talking to you, monsters.
They don't want low-income housing built right next to their house at their.
Especially with dead people, although it's going to have to be low income. I don't know any dead people that, you know, make a lot of money, except through maybe inheritance, I suppose.
They're so proud of, which is their next move, which they're doing. So, look, I just want to say this. We have a chance to make America great again. We have a chance to make America greater than ever before. I believe it's the...
Make America greater. Magteb than ever before. Magteb. I like it. Fuck. Move over, MAGA. Move over, Magoo. It's Magteb.
Make America greater than ever before. Magteb. Magteb. I think it's going to be hot. Beats the heck out of CAG.
Last chance. I believe it's truly the last chance. And I think...
Last chance. last chance for love.
That if we don't do it, I think our country is doomed to a tremendous and horrible failure.
But enough about me.
I just want to thank you all for volunteering and for
Contributing to this doomed and horrible failure.
being with us, and we love you, and we'll be back many times, and we've got a couple of very big rallies scheduled over the
Huge. Not this chintzy little bullshit.
next couple of months, and we'll have 60, 70,000 people at these
Yeah, not like 500 in here, you know? And of course, we're going to have to pay for security. It's in Vegas after all.
rallies. But I thought it was very important for me to veer over to here and be with Michael and everybody, because I want to thank you personally. Now get out there and knock on doors and do all the things that you're doing. We appreciate it. Make America great again. God bless you, and thank you, Pastor, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor for paying. Yeah, but I gotta do the double head jerk. Squirt, squirt. Okay, yeah, that's enough of that. Clap, 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 clap. It's a little, hey, thank you. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Double head jerk up. Yeah, it's like I'm flossing with a giant cock. Squirt, there you go. That's me doing the sprinklers. Squirt right in my ear. Thank you very much. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you. So, oh, look, a white supremacy symbol. This guy's letting him know. There you go. There's somebody doing a peace sign. Who's fucking around? Is that the shocker? This is a fist. Yeah, that's right. With a little somebody else's single finger sticking up. Look, that dude is straight up white dude, shaved head, doing the white supremacy symbol, letting him know this is a volunteer, baby. Look at that. Either that or he's like, I can do the rabbit thing that you like, you know, when you put your penis in. I mean, I can make it smaller, obviously. You put your penis through there, and then the top fingers, yeah. Yeah, dude is straight up trying to do the white supremacy symbol. That's great. I don't know why this woman's doing the double gun loser, but, well, I mean, I kind of do. Thank you very much. Yay, you. Hey, Pastor. Thanks very much. Oh, God. Okay. All right, let me go over here. Stay away from them. They're disgusting. Yeah, there he is. It's like Mickey Mouse, only soulless and rotten and orange. Oh, my God. We got through that whole thing. Holy shit. And by the way, if I may, let's see. Grab these kids over here. So lame. Oh my God. I honestly thought we weren't going to cover that whole thing. And I've only got 7 minutes left. I've got so much to cover though. Okay, real quick. I'm not going to do all this, but can I jump into a couple things real quick? We'll just do a quick wrap up. Here we go. This is speed round. Speed round. We're going to try this. We're going to do 2 in a row, and I'm just going to jump through them. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the worst Colonel Sanders ever to be cast. There's a new plan to control you, and you're too stupid. You don't even know what it is. You fucking sheep. Yeah, what's wrong with you? This is Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide, and this is Glenn Beck's the most terrifying United Nations plan yet. Glenn previews our dark future. Somebody as white as him, I can only imagine.
Where are we headed?
Well, apparently we're headed to a flea market, I guess, or one of those stores that sells knickknacks.
We're headed for a dark future unless
Dun, dun, dun!
we wake up.
We got to wake up. We're not going to wake up, though. I think we're all asleep. Shh. You know what, Glenn? Shh. Speak a little quiet. Everyone's sleeping.
And it doesn't take all of us to wake up.
No, obviously not. It's like if you're awake but your hand is asleep. It's like The Stranger.
A good 20% of America.
27, 20 at least. I think you're going to have to get, I don't know, anywhere between 18 and 32% is a moving number, obviously.
Really awake.
Really, okay, so like gacked out of their fucking brain on coke, Adderall, yeah.
And aware and
oh well, I can't do anything about that.
Standing up and refusing.
Okay.
Refusing to sit down. We'll
All right. Standing up and refusing to sit down. Even when somebody says, rest your bones. Or as they would say in Chinese, 休息休息吧.
change the world. It will.
Yeah, that's right. Change the world's diaper.
20%. How do we
20% of Americans, or are we talking 20% of the general globe of...
heal ourselves?
Oh, I don't know. Salve? Probably going to involve salve.
What's coming? How do we avoid the mistakes that have been made throughout history?
Well, I guess listening to assholes like you would be a mistake. So stop doing that, I guess.
And repeated over and over and over again.
Which ones? The thing with AI? Have we repeated that over and over again? Yes. The question is, in the tale of humanity, human brain hasn't changed in 125,000 years, and yet we've only gone from steam engines to space travel in the last 150 years. I got to say, how many times have we done that before?
I did a special last Wednesday, and I can't tell you how many people talked about it.
Yeah, you can't, because if you did, we'd go 3. That doesn't sound very good.
Coming up to me. It's a speech that I gave, and I had a feeling, and I've never really rewatched the speech, but when I walked off, I thought, that's an important speech.
Okay, he's sick again because he eats shit and lives like shit, and please don't take the advice of people who are a wreck.
And so we made it into the special.
Oh, it was very exciting. It was very special. We looked at some of it. It was very special. We were all moved to laughter several times.
Last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And so many people came up to me and were talking to me about that was so important.
Yeah, so many people who work at the Blaze, who had gotten the memo that you were upset that nobody watched it, came up and said,
I understand things differently now. You can find it on YouTube or on Blaze TV.
I could, but...
But let me just read some of the reviews.
Oh, my God. Glenn Beck is reading his own reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, the most terrifying United Nations plan yet. Glenn previews our dark future, where the UN has mandated that Glenn Beck must read his own reviews on the air. These clearly are the end times.
I'm an atheist.
I'm atheist. My name is John from Indiana. I am American patriot. Also, Prigozhin buddy.
I'm an atheist.
Why did he write it twice?
But I got to say, that speech sent shivers down my spine and put tears in my eyes.
Maybe somebody was tasing you. What were you doing the rest of the time?
I've tried speaking to God.
And he always yells at me.
Who knows if it's true or not? But maybe I should try harder. Maybe.
Yes, maybe if I just yell louder, God will yell back at me.
You're right. Maybe there is a God, and maybe all I need to do is open my heart a little bit more. Thank you, Glenn Beck.
Thank you, Glenn Beck. I am atheist. I have many times spoken to Lord, and yet Lord does not speak back to me. But you have moved me greatly. As soon as check cleared, I had to write something to you.
Glenn, you have just changed my life. I listen with tears in my eyes, knowing how angry and lost I am today. And I need to get back to Christ himself. Listening to you tell how God showed you the path and how you took it on like a steward of men was so profound that I felt my mind sweats.
Your mind sweats. I get mind sweats. I felt my mind sweating.
A steward of men was so profound that I felt my mindset switch in that moment.
Oh, your mindset. I thought you were sweating through all over your switch.
Thank you. Today begins a new direction for me and begins my journey back to my Lord and Savior.
3 days later, that man was found at a truck stop with his pants on backwards.
God bless you. Thank you. It is something that you really need to see. It's Glenn's most powerful speech. You can find it on my YouTube channel.
if I do say so myself. This is a review I wrote myself.
Now, tomorrow is the release of Dark Future. And
Dark Future 2. The sporting.
the reason why that speech was so important, the reason why I did it a few months ago, and we played it right before this Dark Future comes out,
is a preamble. I don't want people to lose hope just because the original title of Dark Future was called Lose Hope. And
is because it can be a little daunting.
Yes, I hate being daunted.
Is a dark future.
It is a dark future, but like mildly dark. It's actually a kind of a light, like kind of dusky kind of a. I don't know. However you want to set your hue lights, I suppose is okay.
And it is. It's going to be tough for.
It is going to be very tough. All the Sonics are going to be closed for like 3 hours.
For all of us to navigate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but thank you, Glenn Beck, for being our compass in the storm.
And there are good ways to navigate it and bad ways.
Yes, yeah. Using GPS, good. Using your dick as a sundial in a sandstorm, bad.
Ways that will only feed in to the system.
Not the system. Oh, no.
So if you thought the Great Reset was a lot to process and fight.
No, I thought it was a lot to forget, actually.
Hang on, because that was the beginning. The Great Reset was the beginning, and hopefully.
I see, the book that, so I shouldn't bother to get the book now. If I haven't read it already, it's too late, is what you're saying?
Hopefully you know about it.
Well, I know about it. I just know I would have no interest in reading your book about of the same title.
If you don't, you can watch my specials on it.
I'll pass. I basically get the gist.
Or you can read my last book on the Great Reset.
Hopefully your last book, but I doubt it.
But this one is on the Great Narrative, this book, and it is the longest book I've ever written. I think it's 500 and some pages.
Mm-hmm. So you couldn't afford an editor?
And
so we just saw him out with copies of this fucking book at doing a book signing or some shit. He was at a radio station doing a show for a couple of days, and now he's just doing a fucking ad for it. Bye. Okay, we don't need to watch this dickhead do a long form ad for his stupid show. Speaking of dickheads doing long form ads,
it is all about.
May I introduce you to someone who I think is taking success well. I think he's benefiting from it. I think he feels better all the time. And I think his staff every day sits around thinking, how do we make our guy look better and better? Oh dear. This is, I did not make this photo. Just for the record, I did not make this photo. And I know what you're thinking, like, the staring kind of thing, it looks like a serial killer's mugshot, right? But honestly, a serial killer that no one would be afraid of. But this is titled, "So Tucker Carlson came on my show and this happened," which sounds something like one of those things where people are like, you won't believe what so-and-so from your favorite television series back in the 90s looks like today. You know, those misogynistic, shitty, off-site ad-ish things that are on HuffPost. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I think what he means is that Elon Musk watched it, liked it, furthered it, and said, interesting. Now, Elon Musk gave him a show, so that's just him promoting his own fucking client on his own social media site. So him commenting on it at all and only bothering to do one word it doesn't seem like that big a deal. Maybe there's more. Let's find out.
Tucker Carlson gave us his first world exclusive interview since leaving Fox.
Did he bring up your hi Betties or?
Let's reflect on some of the things it revealed, some of the pushback, and one thing he didn't say.
How many tries do you think he tried? How many takes do you think it took? I'm going with 6.
Hello there, you 6.5 5 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us on this voyage to truth and freedom. A voyage with now. Bell, less the hour's interview since leaving Fox News. We talked about January the 6th with Tucker saying that FBI aid before by the economic that he left Fox, the industrial complex. We talked about.
This is how long this shit took for him to put together. Watch the background. That's not a real window. They cut together different times of the day because he did it like before and after lunch, I guess, or before and after his shower. The fuck?
The world. This enables decentralized media and indeed political models to thrive. The establishment cannot afford or allow that. When I say the establishment, I mean anything from CNN to Fox to the FBI to the CIA to MI5 to the WHO. These are by their nature centralized authoritarian structures.
No, they're not. They are not centralized authoritarian structures at all. As a matter of fact, the CIA cannot operate inside the United States. The FBI can't operate outside the United States without working directly with another governmental body in another country by a permission. The WHO has to have the permission of the states it works with and through them to operate. They're not centralized at all.
That require these new models to be restrained. First,
no, they don't. Why would the WHO require this to be restrained? And if they do, how come the WHO exists and this stupid show is still fucking on Rumble? Who cares?
Firstly, in a way, this is a victory for independent media. As Glenn Greenwald...
Yes, it is a victory for independent media that Tucker Carlson is no longer on Fox because he cost his former network hundreds of millions of dollars.
Pointed out in his tweet. Russell Brand's live midday interview with Tucker Carlson on Rumble was watched by almost 1 million people within the first few hours.
Citation needed that they were actually people.
We're now nearly at 3 million. Numbers that CNN can't dream of matching ever, let alone in Friday daytime in late July.
Okay, first of all, yeah, they do. They have somewhere in the order of 90 million viewers a day, and they get the same news re-encapsulated piece by piece. And if they have a singular interview that they do, people can watch it through a myriad of sources. They obviously have a reach greater than this stupid little fucking show. Sorry. Legacy media being what it is. The other thing is, I don't care if all of his viewers eventually watch it. And that doesn't mean they're even real watches. Again, the dude's selling gold ads on Rumble.
I suppose that shows you that media has changed now. The type of conversations that you want to listen to, the type of conversations that you want to...
Yeah, you're the hippie Alex Jones. You're the shaggy Joe Rogan.
...participate in have altered, and the mainstream can't keep up with that.
Yeah, they do. They keep up just fine. They push their pieces out on all the social media sites but then have the greater content, the larger stuff on the actual channel.
Look at the trouble they have with Donald Trump. CNN want to give him a town hall in order to invite viewers. Then they have a meltdown about the response to it, whether it's the right thing to do. A popular figure like RFK emerges out of the Democrat establishment whilst attacking it.
Emerges from the Democratic establishment. Why? Because his dad was a Democratic president, or was a presidential candidate, and his uncle was the president of the United States. So that's emerging from the Democratic establishment. Why didn't he emerge out of Hollywood? His wife's on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Why is that not more of where his emergence has come from? Emerges from the legal trade.
Which I believe is what's necessary. They can't house him or frame him. People like that.
They can't house him or frame him because he's not a Democrat. It's weird. It's almost like the Democratic Party has a set of ideals that they want to develop and build and stick to, and people who want to just use the Democratic Party as a super PAC suddenly get all chafed in the asshole when they decide that they don't want to follow the rules or actually participate in what that party is about.
Are seeking out independent media because the establishment is fundamentally conservative. I don't mean conservative politically, I mean wants to keep things the same. Preservative. Let's have a look at...
Yeah, it's conservative preservatives.
Our conversation with Tucker Carlson. Let's share some personal reflections. Like, for example, he was polite and kind to every single person here on the premises. He was...
Why wouldn't he be? You're on his side.
An absolute joy to be around. There was a lot of
Yes, he's very comfortable being at million-dollar compounds around rich, famous people who have giant staffs. He came there to be on your show. What's he going to do? Smack everyone? Of course he's sucking up to you. He's promoting a show.
tweets. There was a lot of coverage, most of it extremely positive. Predictably, some people pushed back. But let's have a look at the conversation.
Predictably. Yeah, that's the thing about some folks. They're just so predictable.
In a little more depth together.
Right now that we're deeply embedded in Rumble, why the hell did you leave Fox? Tell us the truth. What are you not permitted to say? Tell us.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's not. This is a kind of grown up. That's his crying face. That's not his laughing face. Doesn't he have a big ha 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 laugh?
So is it? Do you think they sacked you because of Jan 6? Do you think they sacked you because you're too anti-establishment, too anti-war?
Or was it the $800 million and the sexual harassment shit and your racist text messages?
What do you tell us? Honestly,
was it the that they were gonna keep you and then your text messages came out and said white men don't fight like that, and people were like, oh fuck, it wasn't an accident that he hired a guy who wrote on under a racist screeds under a pseudonym on internet forums as his head writer?
Honestly, don't know. I will
honestly
say, you know, my views changed dramatically over the course of 20 years. As I've said many times, I would.
Yeah, you've grown. That's what it was. They're just anti-growth over there at Fox.
Was a kind of half-hearted booster of the war in Iraq, which is hard to believe.
Why? And also half-hearted? How about full-sharded? What are you talking about?
But, you know, that was in 2003. And
yeah, I was young. I don't remember half that. I was so drunk.
And so my views for the last 20 years have been, and I realized and I repented of that, and I feel sick even thinking about it now. But
even if you're one of the people, and let me know in the comments if you are, that
if you're one of those people who leaves comments in there before, and this is basically, I have to say this, so that all the people we pay to put comments in there to artificially boost the show to justify the contract we've got with Rumble, I've got to say this so that when people that we pay to do that do actually do it, we can go, well, we asked for it.
Believes that Tucker Carlson is a nefarious influence in the media. Do you not think that that's good, that he says, I was wrong?
No, because I do not believe him. I have no reason to believe him. Changing your tune once you're on the back foot is not indicative of some sort of clarity of thought.
In my report,
he changed with the crowd
on the Iraq War, and I feel guilty and ashamed. Have you seen anybody else like Tony Blair or George W. Bush or any of the people that were reporting at that time? Remember, they were Republican politicians in the United States, Labour in our country, so left wing in our country, the UK. Have you seen anyone else offer up a mea culpa like that? How do people fit that into their framework of condemnation when people are like, oh, he's just doing that in order to what? How do you make sense?
Because that crowd, because Trump ran on the idea that it was bad, and that gave a bunch of people the sign, okay, we're switching our opinion of it. No matter what we did, you know, again, this is where Christianity to people like Trump, and I would argue to people like Tucker Carlson, is the moral equivalent of a flush toilet. You made a stinky, you ask for forgiveness, and you flush it, it's gone forever. You don't actually have to do anything about it, and your mea culpa is verbal. It has nothing to do with, it won't change the past, and therefore, right now, you're only doing that because you recognize that you would have to be against what Russia did to be for what the United States did in Iraq. And since you're now for what Russia is doing, you can't exactly be against it. So you decided to just flip-flop.
That.
But my views have remained pretty much the same for the last 20 years. They've evolved, you know, as things have changed. But
yeah, things have changed. I haven't. They've evolved. I've evolved with them. I've recognized that my crowd has wanted me to say other things, so I say those things to keep that crowd, no matter how fucking nuts or awful they become.
In general, I've been skeptical of the storylines and all kinds of different things.
Yeah, the storylines and all kinds of different things. You know, the kind of bullshit that second-generation rich kids pull out of their ass to to massage the rubes in their audience.
And I certainly was for the 14 years I was at Fox. And they were always, they didn't agree with me, of course, I don't think. But
you don't think? What the fuck? Of course they agree with you. Did they pay you for all 14 years until you cost them more money than you were worth?
they were always very nice to me, and they always let me say what I wanted. Not one time did they tell me not to say anything. So I was always grateful to Fox, and I am in retrospect grateful to Fox for that. So that never changed up until...
I'm sorry, excuse me. Russell just told me that Fox is centralized power and they cannot allow people to speak their mind. But you're telling us that you were always allowed while you were there to speak your mind. And he respects what you've grown into and what you've said and who you are. So, what?
Till the moment they called me and said, you know, we're taking the show off the air. And so I can only speculate. I know, but I do think as a general matter, not even about me, the war in Ukraine is a red line for a lot of people in business and politics. And you see it in our politics in the U.S., where the leaders of the Republican Party in the Congress, who really are repulsive, in my view, are now supporting sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. Ukraine is losing the war, obviously.
Yes, obviously. That they lost it 6 days in, just like Vladimir Putin said they would.
The United States could, and Ukrainians are dying in huge numbers, and the country's being destroyed. And so the U.S. could force a peace like tonight.
Yeah, they could force a peace like tonight. And how would they do that? By giving the land that Russia took to Russia and making Ukraine stop fighting to get their own land back. You know, just like Georgia and Chechnya.
They could. Uniquely, they have that power. And they won't.
No, we do not.
And they're continuing to allow Ukrainians to be killed and the country to be devastated. So I don't know their motive. I can only guess. But I know that if you criticize that, they really are intent on making you be quiet.
No, they actually think you're wrong. This is an example. This is a fantastic example of second generation rich kid bullshit and Hollywood fuckpot ex-heroin users and how they think about how other people who have real jobs or have lived their real lives operate. This is all like beyond being massive projection. Both of these dickheads think that everybody else lies for a living.
One thing that Fox did censor, or at least didn't broadcast, was Tucker's interview with the chief of the Capitol Police. Why was that? Is that a significant interview? Do you think we'll ever see it? Let me know in the comments.
Yes, let me know in the comments. Yeah, jump ahead. Whoop, what was this?
Here is one.
Yeah. Oh, wait. This is the part. I didn't realize it was in this clip as well, but it makes total sense. What better example could you possibly have? Well, I'll let it play.
That you might like to consider. Thank you, other me. Going online without ExpressVPN is like...
Yep. ExpressVPN ads and gold ads. It's just part of the fold now. That's it. That's it. Again, at what point, I'm curious, at what point does gold, do people who buy and sell gold, do they not own Russell Brand along with the virtual private network or, you know, folks at some point, the tech oligarchs? Why is hacking a VPN not working for big tech?
Ignoring the safety demonstration on a flight. Most of the time you'll be fine, but what if one day,
There's my ad, and I'm doing a thing, and I don't know, maybe. Here's a piece of, this is Edward Snowden stealing your nudes, and money, which is evil. And what if you try this, use my number, what am I supposed, I forgot, what was I supposed to say? I don't know. Numbers, and then you do your thing, and you can hide it. 5 devices for free, and they're going to steal your shit, and there you go. And don't forget to use my code, because I'm all about freedom.
Was it? Let me know what you think happened on that day that means this issue remains so contentious. Was it that there were government agents in the crowd? Do you think it was a false flag issue? That's not what Tucker says, obviously.
Obviously.
Do you think it's been exploited to introduce new laws and to force forward
Like what?
surveillance?
Like what? Like what?
And more ability to control and censor?
Like what? What laws have changed based on January 6th, other than clarification of the rules about what a vice president can do so that no dickhead tries this horse shit ever again because the language is clarified? What changes in the law have been made or even expressed? They didn't make up a new fucking Patriot Act out of this. They didn't have to.
Why was this day so significant?
Because somebody took a shit in the rotunda and another person brought a Confederate flag in the fucking place, and a cop was beaten near to death and tased until he had a fucking heart attack. Another woman carrying a "Don't Tread on Me" flag was stomped to death, and a woman was shot because she was trying to bust through a window and climb through a window with a knife in her fucking bag so she could stab some Congress people. Other than that, no fucking idea. They built a gallows, you dickhead.
In recent American political history.
They immediately recoiled when you asked any questions about January 6th.
Right, because they'd seen the footage and they knew that this was stupid.
And that was a tip-off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen.
That I believe. You had no thought in your head, I believe.
On television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. That never crossed my mind.
No, it never crossed my mind because obviously it was a failure. And therefore, had they been involved, it probably would have succeeded.
I never thought it was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not a conspiracist by temperament. I never thought that.
I didn't realize it was a matter of temperament.
And then I interviewed the chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Sund, in an interview that was never aired on Fox, by the way. I was fired before it could air.
Yeah, that's probably why. The timing. It wasn't the whole like white supremacist tone of his texts that were coming out in that lawsuit. It was just they fired him literally so that no one would talk to the head of the Capitol Police.
I interview him again. But Stephen Sund was the
Oh, well then I guess they can't stop it after all. I don't know why Fox said such a right.
Totally non-political, worked for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this was not some right-wing activist. He was the chief of the Capitol Police.
He doesn't work for Nancy Pelosi. He works for the people to protect members of Congress. She's in charge of it at the time because she's the speaker. It's not the same thing.
On January 6th, and he said, oh, yeah. That crowd was filled with federal agents. What? Yes. Well, he would know, of course, because he was in charge of security at the site.
One moment that I found fascinating, let me know in the
comments below. Just full of them. How do you mean full? What do you mean full? 5, 6? I mean, he's talking about an interview that never aired, and he's going to interview him again. How many people think that he's going to say that crowd was full of federal agents? How many people think he's going to actually say that? Yeah.
Comments, if you agree, was Tucker's assertion that Trump is the most significant political force to emerge in America in the last 100 years. He can
Fuck off. Oh my God. The last 100 years. He's a one-termer. And if we're just saying significant because anybody who throws a fucking monkey wrench is as significant as the person who built the engine. Jesus.
What do you think Tucker meant?
I don't know that he means anything, fucko. He's just catering to a crowd. Get back to your bullshit.
It seems you have occupied varying positions on Trump at various times. Where are you on Donald Trump now? And particularly perhaps how that relates to the emergence of radical anti-establishment figures within the Democrat Party, notably RFK.
Where am I on Trump now? Well, I love Trump.
Oh, that's yeah, of course. What's not to love? He's a second-generation rich kid, just like yourself. He has dumb hair, too.
Personally, I mean, I made a huge mistake last November in getting involved in American politics, something I've never done before.
What? Is he talking about, like, did he volunteer or something? Because he's always been involved in American politics. What are you talking about? His entire show is about the manipulation of American politics.
And making...
Sorry, somebody's saying something about Gal Luft. Did I miss that part? Did he just get indicted by the... Well, he was... I mean, he's a arms dealer, so... Or he was facilitating the money for it anyways. He's been on the run. Did they arrest him? They finally get him?
Calls, this guy's going to win. I think this is going to happen in this state. Meet your new governor, New York, stuff like... And I was wrong on almost every call.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, you're consistent, I guess.
I'm not a very astute political analyst.
Yeah, that's why you had a show on Fox talking about politics for fucking... All right. Oh, he's arrested? Oh,
Not interested in politics. I never have been interested
I don't even know what the fuck this is.
in politics. I'm interested in ideas. I'm interested in people.
I'm interested in tanning my balls.
And so there's a primary going on in the United States between Trump and a bunch of other people, primarily Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, but others, Vivek Ramaswamy, for example. And I haven't said word one about it. Don't plan to. I think looking back on this 10 years from
Other than I love Trump, I suppose. What more do you have to say?
now, assuming we're still around,
Yeah, probably not. Asteroid.
I think we're going to see Trump's emergence as the most significant thing to happen in American politics in 100 years, because he reoriented the Republican Party
against itself.
the wishes of Republican leaders.
Yeah, against itself. Also, what the fuck do you mean reoriented? He fucking wrecked it.
But when I think about Trump right now, so it's July of 2023, I'm struck by his foreign policy views.
Oh yeah? What would those be?
Trump is the only person
Rooting for Russia openly?
with stature in the Republican Party, really, who's saying, wait a second, why are we supporting an endless war in Ukraine?
And everyone else is going, what the fuck are you talking about, an endless war in Ukraine? We're trying to win this as fast as fucking possible. You want to talk about an endless war, dickhead? How about Georgia? Has their war to get their land back ever stopped? Or are they just not able to fight it because they don't have anything, so Russia can just incrementally salami slice its way through their country and continue to grab land 100 yards at a time just until they take over the whole fucking country? What about Chechnya? How about Syria? How about countries in Africa? Those kind of forever wars? Because it seems like we're talking about Ukraine putting this shit away.
And that, leaving aside whether Trump's going to get the nomination or get elected president or would be a good president.
He was already a president and he sucked.
I can't even assess that.
Yes, you're right. You can't even assess that. But you can assess that he's the one guy rooting for Russia, which is just fucking weird.
All I can say at this point is I'm so grateful that he has that position. He's right. And everyone in Washington's wrong. Everyone. Mm-hmm. And Trump is right on that question. And it's a big question.
Well, that sounds like somebody who has a lot of investments in foreign countries that are fucking shady would say.
War is reshaping the world. It's reshaping the economy of the world. It's reshaping populations. I was just in Romania last week.
And it's full of fucking Ukrainians, which are dirty, dirty people. What?
Which is, of course, shares a border with Ukraine. The refugees in that region, the number of people killed in that war, Europe will never be the same because of this war. And
unlike World War II, I suppose.
It really...
You know what? You're right. All the changes that were made in World War II weren't worth it. We shouldn't have fought the Nazis. I get your point, Tucker. That's and what a brave take. Thank you. Finally, somebody comes out and says it. It's we shouldn't have gotten involved in World War II. It wasn't worth it.
Matters.
We still don't know what Tucker Carlson will do as a broadcaster, but it seems increasingly...
Yes, he's been doing a show for a little while, and we still don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But then that was true when he was on Fox.
Likely it will be as an independent media journalist.
No, it doesn't. He works for a fucking multi-billionaire. He works for the richest person in the world. What are you talking about? How is that independent media? How is, I mean, look at fucking Matt Taibbi. Same shit. How is being Elon Musk's personal ass stenographer, just anything he farts out, you say, how does that make you independent? Independent of fucking what?
Now at least he is operating within Twitter. Is that because...
At least he's operating within Twitter, the private corporation owned by a multi-billionaire. You know, the very epitome of decentralized power.
His Fox contract prohibits other types of relationships? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Yes, right down, because I legally, in my Rumble contract, I have to get a certain amount of comments below, and if I don't get them, I get nicked. They take some of my pay, or other British phrases for not getting paid. I get docked.
What does he think about Elon Musk, and what is the nature of his
Here's what he thinks of Elon Musk. It's his boss.
Financial relationship with perhaps the most powerful new media operator in the game.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. The most powerful new media operator. See, I would guess that if Russell was talking about anyone else, say, I don't know, Bill Gates or something, he would talk about them as billionaire oligarch corporatists. But somehow Elon Musk is just a free spirit. It's just, his money's more of a burden than anything else.
Elon Musk.
We were all amongst us thinking, where will Tucker go?
Where can he go? And can we get some of that money?
Oh, is it going to be Tucker? Will he be joining us on Rumble? Will you
Us. Team Rumble, is it? Or on your show? Like, literally, because I don't think you mean on your show.
Set up your own thing. What was it about your conversations with Elon Musk that led you to work there on Twitter?
Well, I don't work for Elon. He's paid me zero money. I don't think I ever want to work for anyone again. I've done that.
And he's the heir to the Swanson fortune.
I'd like to make money. I mean, I think that's fair. I've made zero money since I left.
Well, because you can't effectively take the checks. So what do you do? Just, did your corporation end up with a house or some shit? You're just skating around this? What the fuck? We're gonna in a situation where you're using the Putin payment model? Minus the salary, you just get magically houses appear in your name in other countries?
And that's fine. But
that's fine.
But at some point I'd like to, but I'm not working for Elon Musk. He hasn't offered to hire me, and if he did, I wouldn't accept. But
because you can't legally say you would or do, because that would be a violation of your Fox contract, and you're trying to get out of it now. And so this in and of itself is a form of outward negotiation, and you can play this tape back in court when Fox sues you and say, look, I even went on this show and said that.
What he's done is offered me what he's offered every other user of Twitter, which is a chance to broadcast your views without a gatekeeper there.
Yeah, but he also gives you a giant boost in that process that he does not give to everyone else. So you've turned that down, right? You've insisted that the algorithm not help you more than anyone else, or that there not be any forced viewership, or he himself as the head of the company not retweet or comment or push people in the direction and use you as a way to get people and then do a kind of quid pro quo later on.
But I do think, I think the technology at Twitter is, my expectation, is evolving. And I think, the subscription model, might work.
Ah, that's right. So they're negotiating for it right now. And then at some point, what he'll do is he'll build up that thing, and then he'll bus everybody over to a subscription model once it takes off. And he's part of negotiating that. This is basically, Elon Musk is looking at it like when Stern was brought over to Sirius XM. Except it's not going to work, and it's stupid, but that's the plan. Fucking hell.
Or it might not. I don't know, but
has he given you any access or any goods or any promise of goods verbally at any time in the future?
I think it might, and I plan to stay there. But
yeah, you plan to stay there without a contract, obviously. Why would you? If you want to make money on something, why would you plan on staying anywhere if you haven't talked about it? You're not even, it's not even a job. But stay where? Why would you stay anywhere? What What difference does it make? Why don't you just do what I do? I'm on Twitter as well, but I broadcast on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. I don't have to do it exclusively. Why the exclusivity, I think, is the question.
What social media offer in the short term, at least for me.
Yes, social media would be all of the sites I just mentioned. We're not talking about social media. We're talking about you on Twitter exclusively.
Me, is an audience, but also a reason, this is personal, but a reason to write. I can't think clearly without writing.
So you haven't been writing.
You know, I started in this business as a magazine writer and a book writer, newspaper writer, and I need to write things out. I'm very dyslexic and I can't, I have trouble processing information in certain ways. And unless I'm forced to write a script, I can't really decide what I think about something.
Especially when someone else writes the script.
And so
you never had a staff and you didn't have writers and you put everything in your teleprompter yourself, and that everything that you spoke on your show for 20 years and 13 years at Fox was all written out and not extemporaneous takes on things?
The daily or regular discipline of writing a script.
Why don't you get a Substack then? Why a script? Go back to writing, go write a book. The fuck are you talking about?
Forces me, and in some cases it really is forced. I don't want to do it. I'd much rather go fishing or bird hunting.
Yes, we would rather you do those things as well.
I would. But if I have to, I will.
You don't have to. You don't.
And there's something wonderful in that. Writing a script is,
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, you can. Here's a good idea. Write it and then shred it and then go fishing. And go and fish with the clarity of mind that all your thoughts are in one line.
No. Forces you to think through everything about the issue, to have a much deeper.
No, it doesn't.
Understanding of it. At least for me, that's true.
Well, let me know, what questions do you think
you should write down in here? Tell me what I should ask him next time when he's on the show.
I should have asked Tucker Carlson. What?
Because it's too late, but I've got to get these comments up or they're going to dump me on this fucking site.
Would you like to have seen more of? Are you excited about the way that independent media is shaping up?
What do you mean independent media? He's the heir to the Swanson frozen dinner fortune, fucko. He's $90 million in the green from when he worked at Fox, at least. At least. He's a multi-fucking millionaire. He's only streaming because he's an egomaniac. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you share my belief that independent media and...
All right, it's not... Okay, enough. It's not independent. It's not... I'm independent. And I'm so independent that any of the sites I'm on could kick my ass off anytime they wanted to. That is not currently true of him on Twitter. And if he went elsewhere, he would get shut down on Twitter. If he put everything out on all the different sites like I do and he just used Restream and bounced everything around, yeah, do you think he would still have the exclusive attention of Elon Musk? The multi-billionaire who owns Twitter solely as a single human being? But centralized power. The fuck out of here. Honest to God, does he actually believe this shit? He couldn't possibly. Russell, I know somebody shows you this occasionally. I know it. Do you ever get tired of bullshitting people, or are you just so practiced at bullshitting yourself that you don't even notice? People are just plebes, just cells in a giant organism that you kind of squint at and see as one big mass, like when you do a show and the audience forms into some sort of multi-headed blob in front of you instead of a bunch of individuals. Do you ever think past that shit, you fucking tool? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Also, if the world ever decentralized and all these power structures you rail against suddenly fell apart, you would be one of the first people eaten by the very people you purport to speak on behalf of. And certainly the only way you would save yourself is to go to some sort of mountaintop resort with a bunch of Tucker Carlsons where you've got hired mercenaries murdering anybody that gets within a mile of the fucking place. Russell Brand is the kind of person who thinks Ayn Rand is okay if you read it as poetry. Fucking hell. Ugh. Just gross. And like the idea that this dickhead passes himself off in hi chat room. This dickhead passes himself off as some kind of like that he's a left-leaning or left of the aisle. I don't even know how he even considers that, other than the illusion that since he's against the system, since Marxists and the Unabomber are also against the system, it makes him, more like Marxists, and he could dress like, he could smell like the Unabomber. This is fucking embarrassing. Like, it is so lame. Hi, chat room, by the way. I'm scrolling through to catch up with where you guys are. Thank you guys so much. I went long tonight, and I appreciate you guys hanging around the Unaboomer. The Unadoomer, right. Russell is not left-wing. He's a faux aggressive like Jimmy Bore. Yeah, I agree. But he thinks he is. I don't know what his fucking standard is, though, other than he wants the system to fail. Again, a system that he has latched onto the tit of and will suck on till he dies. Rebel without a bath. It's like the idea that he's passing himself off as like a patchouli progressive. Oi. So caught up on Trump, you left out Sweden. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had other stories to cover this morning too, and I totally blazed past them. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And there's so much.